Live from Spectrum Field in beautiful Clearwater, Florida, it's day number 4 of the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championships, and we're starting 3 games off today with an elimination game between the UConn Huskies and the Memphis Tigers. And a good morning to you, Jeff Sharon, along with Garrett Wolvert here in Clearwater. And boy, Garrett, these two teams are no strangers to one another in this tournament. Last year they met 3 times. UConn won 2 of them, including eliminating Memphis on Saturday. But the Huskies are coming off of a loss last night against Houston 7-6. And if they're going to get back on track and stay alive in this tournament, they're going to need another good game from Isaac Feldstein.
Feldstein, a redshirt junior, has been 3 for 8 in the tournament with a double and a homer. He's led the Huskies at the plate, but UConn needs to improve in the field. They've committed 4 errors, including 3 in their last game. If they can clean that up, pitch to their potential, Feldstein and the Huskies will be fine.
Feldstein 2 for 5 with a homer against Houston. Meanwhile, on the other side for Memphis, they had the day off yesterday after that wild 15-14 10-inning marathon against Cincinnati. And if they're going to stay alive in this tournament, they need Chris Carrier to keep swinging the bat.
You see the big home run here. The senior all-conference selection is leading all players in this tournament in runs scored and total bases. He's hitting .600, Jeff, with 2 homers, 2 doubles. He's one of 7 seniors who know this could be their final game in a Memphis uniform. We can expect his best effort.
What a game for him against the Bearcats. 4 for 6 at the plate. We've got starting lineups and first pitch coming up next here on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Jeff Sharon, Garrett Wolvert here with you at Spectrum Field in Clearwater for the American Athletic Conference Baseball Tournament in this elimination game between UConn and Memphis. And UConn, the road team officially in this game. Here's a look at their starting lineup with John Topa leading off for the Huskies, Garrett.
Well, they've got 7 upperclassmen in the starting lineup today. You include the pitcher, the only freshman, the shortstop, Anthony Prado, who's been very good in this tournament. Got to be able to be clean in the field. We talked about that. If they have that, they've got a great shot to advance here in Clearwater.
Topa, the sophomore, leading off hitting .274. Facing Drew Crosby, the junior lefty, working out of the stretch. And the first delivery is a ball, 1-0. Here's Drew Crosby coming in this year 6-3 with a 5.47 earned run average, making his 15th start of the year.
Crosby has made 2 relief appearances, his first start here in Game 3. And actually, 363 days ago, started against UConn in this tournament in a game and pitched 4 innings of 1-run ball. He left the game. It was 9-0 Memphis.
Officially got a no decision in this one as Topa hits this one to right center, but camping underneath it and making the catch for the Tigers is Chris Carrier. And let's set the defense for you for Memphis. As you see, Carlos Williams getting the start in left. A little bit of a change for the Tigers. Webb in center, Carrier in right, as you saw. Schreitenthal, Trella, Grudzelanek, and Turner across the diamond. Santana behind the plate, and Crosby on the hill. Anthony Prado, the shortstop, steps in for UConn. What a tournament he is having so far. Takes a strike on the first pitch from Crosby. All AAC second team selection. He is 7 for 10 in this tournament. Fouls that one off. He's got a double and a triple, 6 runs batted in here in Clearwater this year. And this season in 3 games against Memphis, he is 5 of 15 at the plate. Fouls that one off again, and he's still behind in the count, 0-2. Drew Crosby, we mentioned the junior starter for Memphis. 80 2/3. He's given up 58 runs, 49 of them earned on 94 hits. Walked 29, struck out 65, and opponents are hitting a robust .294 against him. Misses high, wasted that one, and it's 1-2.
Crosby, 6 feet tall, 195 pounds, out of South Haven, Mississippi, one of the suburbs of Memphis.
Now, Garrett, you mentioned this is his third appearance in the tournament in as many games for the Tigers, as the count now runs even at 2-2. He threw a perfect inning of relief against Houston on 12 pitches. Then against Cincinnati, things kind of came apart for him. An inning and a third, he gave up 4 runs, 4 hits, and walked 1. No strikeouts. Threw 33 pitches. This is popped up right side, foul ground. Making the catch is Turner, 2 down.
Well, he did have those 2 relief appearances, but typically he has been a weekend starter for them. 14 starts on the year. This one's flied into foul territory, and despite that bright sunshine here in Clearwater, the wind not as bad the last 2 days, and that's an easier catch in foul ground.
Yeah, we had some wind the last time out, that 15-14 game that Memphis played against Cincinnati. The ball was flying all over the ballpark with that front blowing through. Started raining literally minutes after the game. Here's Willie Yon with 2 away. And he takes a strike, 0-1. Yon this year hitting .317. That leads all the Huskies, 57 of 180 at the plate. 2 homers, 25 runs batted in, and this one's popped towards center. And racing in and making the catch for the Tigers is Tyler Webb, and that ends the inning. 1-2-3 for Drew Crosby in the top of the first. Memphis coming to bat here in the bottom of the first, no score.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Bottom one rather, here in Clearwater. No score. Memphis coming to bat here against UConn in this elimination game. And here's a look at the starting lineup for Memphis. They've been scoring some runs in this tournament, Garrett, but it's going to be a much tougher outing this time around, isn't it?
They've got 6 upperclassmen in their starting lineup as well. Webb, Grubb, Zalonic, and Carrier. Carrier, if he can stay hot, can help carry this team. Turner at first base. They'll round it all out with Neal, Williams, and Santana. What a story, Colton Neal being the game-winning hitter and the game-winning pitcher in their last matchup.
And they will be facing Wills Montgomery for UConn, making the start. Coming in with a 3.55 earned run average.
Big kid, 6'3", 220 pounds. He is a junior, and he's got some experience against Memphis earlier this year. Kind of an abbreviated start, Jeff. Just 2 innings pitched, and he got shelled. 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 were earned, no strikeouts. He'll try to be better today against the Tigers.
Tyler Webb leads off for Memphis, hitting .306 on the year. And he takes a ball from Montgomery. Webb 2 for 9 for the tournament with a run batted in. He's 2 for 12 this year in the 3 games against Connecticut. And Montgomery working quickly, 1-1 the count. These 2 pitchers in this game, Montgomery for UConn and Crosby for Memphis, faced one another in the regular season back on April the 8th. Neither one really distinguished themselves as Webb fouls that one out of play.
Despite Montgomery getting shelled, UConn still ended up winning that game. It wasn't the most competitive series in terms of there were some losses where Memphis was ahead and just gave up leads and wasn't competitive in late innings.
Yeah, they had 2 leads that they gave up, Memphis did. UConn swept the season series in Stores as Webb goes down swinging, 1 away.
Montgomery with 109 strikeouts and 83 innings pitched. Gets another one here to start the ballgame off, and that's a nice first step by the UConn right-hander.
And here's the senior, Brandon Grubb-Zalonic, hitting .274 on the year. 5 homers, 35 runs batted in, and he swings at the first offering and pops this one up toward the right side. Will they have a play on it? No, out of play. But back to that regular season game, Garrett. 10-7 was the final in that one back on April the 8th. Memphis had a 7-5 lead. It was 5-4 UConn after the first inning. Memphis led 7-5 heading into the bottom of the fifth, and then they gave up 3 runs, gave up the lead, and UConn did not look back as Grudzielanek waves and misses at that one, 0-2. Crosby for Memphis through 3 2/3 gave up 5 runs, only 2 of them earned, however, on 9 hits. Walked 1, struck out 2, and we mentioned Montgomery, who also got shelled. 6 runs, 5 earned on 7 hits, 3 walks, no strikeouts. Grudzielanek fouls that one to stay alive at 0-2.
UConn had to come back in 2 of those games. They outscored Memphis 20-9 in the 3 games. But this one's for all the marbles. This is to keep the season going for Memphis.
Base is empty, 1 out, and the 0-2 to Grudzielanek. Popped foul right side again, and out of play once again. We'll do it again. Last year, Montgomery threw the 3rd game of the tournament against Memphis. That was the 2nd game on Saturday that pushed UConn into the championship game. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs. Walked 2, struck out 6. A masterpiece for him in that ballgame.
Not bad for a sophomore at the time.
Foul back, will do it again. Great at bat by Grudzielanek.
You know, that's just what we've seen from UConn since they've started playing in this tournament in Clearwater is quality pitching. They've got 4 pitchers spread across the 2 all-conference teams this year. Last year, Tim Cate, the freshman of the year.
And Grudzielanek tags this one towards the gap in left center field, and it is caught in center by Kruger. 1 down. Nice job ranging over.
Well, he was shaded to the right, and he decided he had to go back towards the third base side. Good catch by Kruger.
Kruger in center as we look at the UConn defense. Topa in left, Feldstein, and right across the diamond you have Jan, Prado, Hill, and Neza over at first. Bergman, the catcher, and Montgomery on the hill. 2 down, nobody on for Chris Carrier. Boy, has he been swinging the bat for Memphis, not just this year, but in this tournament in particular. Chris, 6 for 10 with a pair of homers, 6 RBI, a double. He scored 5 times, and a partridge in a pear tree.
There you go.
Against UConn this year, though, only 3 of 11 with 1 run batted in. He's behind quickly in the count, 0-2 here.
There have been some exemplary performances in this tournament. Hard to believe he's hitting 600 and is not tops, but he's right up there in the top 5 in batting average.
And that game-tying hit in the bottom of the 9th that tied the game at 14 against Cincinnati. Part of that 6-run late-inning rally. Tigers were down 6 heading into the bottom of the 7th. They got 3 in the 7th, 3 in the 9th to tie it, and won it with 1 in the 10th. The 0-2, cut on and missed, strike 3. Carrier fooled by Montgomery there. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers in the bottom of the first. No score between Memphis and UConn here at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championships in Clearwater.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
We go top 2. No score in this elimination game between UConn and Memphis. Jeff Sharon and Garrett Wolvert here with you from Clearwater. Beautiful day for baseball. The front blew through a couple days ago, and now, look, it's beautiful, sunny, and dry. A little hot out there right now. The wind has died down. It's a beautiful morning for some baseball. This is our first of two today. UCF and USF coming up next here on the American Digital Network. But this elimination game right here is the present issue at hand. 4, 5, and 6 due up for UConn here in the top of the second. And Isaac Feldstein leading off for the Huskies takes ball outside from Drew Crosby.
You were told before the game, Feldstein's been battling some issues. He's been able to gut them out and continue to be a positive performer for them.
3 of 8 coming in the tournament so far. Waves and misses at that one, 1-1. Crosby, the starter for Memphis last year, we mentioned against UConn, 3 2/3. Excuse me, that was earlier this year against UConn, 3 2/3, 5 runs, 2 earned, 9 hits, a walk, and 2 Ks. So he got knocked around in that game in Stores on April the 8th, but so did Montgomery. This one's grounded over to second. Grudzielanek in time, 1 down.
Grudzielanek looked pretty good in this tournament fielding second base. This one's kind of a slow roller to him. He doesn't make the hard charge at it. Comes to him, and he knows the runner. He's got to get it over there in time, and does.
Looked like his uncle knocking that out. Mark Grudzielanek, former utility guy in the majors. Here's Alex Lefebvre, senior catcher for UConn this year. Alex hitting .262. Two for 7 in the tournament with a double, an RBI. He's also walked. He was 1 for 3 back on April the 8th against Memphis. His lone appearance against the Tigers this season. 1-0 from Crosby is in there for a strike, count square at 1-1.
Crosby with a 91-mile-an-hour heater there outside part of the plate, evens it up.
Drew this year 6 3, 5.38 earned run average. That one's outside.
Crosby for his career is 6-5, again with an ERA over 5. He's very good at fielding his position, though. He's made just 1 error in 54 career games. This is his 55th appearance all time at Memphis, now in his junior year.
We talked about the job that he did holding UConn at bay last year in Memphis's 9-5 win in the first Saturday game between these two. The semifinal round last season. 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned. 4 walks, but he struck out 3. And he's got a little bit of an advantage here because UConn this year hitting .235 against left-handed pitchers this year. That's second to last in the conference. The 3-1 is in there for a strike, and the count runs full.
Crosby has some quality wins this year. Got a win against Tennessee after pitching 6 innings and striking out 6. He also beat Ole Miss and Oxford, and anytime Memphis can beat Ole Miss in anything, that's going to get everybody's attention.
Lefebvre, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in this year. Full count pitch is fouled back. This is his 20th start of the year. Crosby, interestingly enough, working out of the stretch here throughout the game. And that one's cut on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Drew Crosby. 2 down here in the second.
Kept it low and away from the right-hander. That's a good recipe for success, and he'll head back to the dugout. First K of the game.
Strikeout number 66 on the year for Drew Crosby. And now Troy Stefanski will step to the plate, the right fielder, hitting .228 on the year. He's a junior. Making his 31st start of the year. No homers, 6 runs batted in. He does have 6 doubles to his credit. And he is ahead in the count, 1-0. From Crosby is in there for a strike. Umpires today, Scott Graham calling the balls and strikes. Grady Smith down the first base line. Asa Howard over at second. And Mark Ewell is the third base umpire.
Crosby's last offering right down Broadway.
And this is tapped to the right side. Grudzielanek ranging over in time. 2 1-2-3 innings for Drew Crosby. We played 1.5 here in Clearwater. No score in this elimination game between Memphis and UConn here at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship on the American Digital Network.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
We played 1.5 here in Clearwater. No score between Memphis and UConn. We go bottom 2 with Wills Montgomery, starter on the hill for UConn. Facing 4, 5, and 6 in the Memphis order, and leading off the second is Trent Turner, the first baseman, the senior for Memphis, .299 on the year. 8 homers, 44 runs batted in.
Turner's really been a big part of Memphis's success because of his ability to play first base.
And he takes the ball on the first offering. This, so far in the 2 games in the tournament, Turner has been swinging a hot bat. 5 for 9 with a homer, a double, 3 runs batted in. Didn't mean to, but went around.
Earlier in the season, Jacob Elliott, who was a starter and a star last year for the Tigers, just couldn't get healthy, had an oblique issue. They're going to redshirt him.
Checks a swing this time, but takes a strike, and it's 1-2.
So for Turner to be able to really be one of the best defensive players in the infield for Memphis and anchor that first base position, he has helped solidify their defense.
And he waves and misses at that one. Strike 3. And with that strikeout, UConn has now set a school record for total strikeouts in a season by their pitching staff.
559 on the year. They've got back-to-back seasons with 500 strikeouts, Jeff.
We've seen how strong the pitching has been for UConn both last year and this year. You remember Anthony Kay was so great for UConn last year. He was the winning pitcher in the championship game. Shut down the Memphis Bats in their very first meeting out of the 3 between these 2 squads in the tournament last year. Here's Alec Trella. And he's quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Trella just 1 for 9 in the tournament. 3 of 11 this year against the Huskies with 3 runs batted in. He gets plunked on that one. That one came up high and in. Let's see if Trella's okay.
I don't know if he's going to be able to stay in the game.
Boy, that's tough to see. Alec took it up high. And he's got a towel up against his face. There you see. Oh, boy.
Great show of sportsmanship, though.
Yeah, with Montgomery coming over. He knew that one may have gotten away from him. He was concerned about him, too.
Montgomery, known for his control and all-conference selection. That's just the 7th batter that he has hit all season in over 85 innings pitched. And if you're at the plate and you're Trella and you want to stay in the game, but you're gushing blood out of your nose, what can they do?
Exactly. Well, take a look at this one.
I got him on the side of the nose as it passed by. Wow. I mean, you have time to basically blink and the ball's on you.
Yeah, it's just a fastball. Looks like it got away. Oh, boy. Well, they're still taking a look at him down over the first base line. There you see Darren Schoenrock, Memphis head coach. There's Montgomery. He's obviously still concerned. And home plate umpire Scott Graham taking a look at him again. The Memphis trainer out there, I think they're just trying to stop the bleeding. There you see Coach Schoenrock.
I think that's Alex Wolfinger, the athletic trainer, attending to him. And that, if you want to stay in the game and you can't stop the bleeding, maybe we stuff some stuff up the nose and get you back out there on the ground.
And a good call by our home plate umpire, Scott Graham, giving Trella enough time to recover sufficiently to trot down to first after that.
Well, if this is what every batter is going to have to do to earn a spot on base, I mean, he's the first base runner of the game between either teams. Goodness.
Zach Schreitenthal is due up next for the Tigers. Well, for Trella, this would be the second time he's reached base in the tournament. And they're still working on him down there. Now,
did that ball ricochet off his face or off the catcher's glove once it passed his face? Because that ball, you know, took a left turn.
I think it looks like it ricocheted off of his nose. Boy, it's really tough because it was moving so quickly to really be able to tell. And it looks like you're saying, all right, are you okay here? I think he'll be okay. So there goes Alex Trella. And you see the smile on his face as he trots down to first. Talk about a gamer, man. So he's the first base runner of the game here with one out in the bottom of the second. And here is Zach Schreitenthal. Schreitenthal 5 for 10 in the tournament with a double, 4 runs batted in. Comes in hitting .270 on the season, .361 with runners on, though, so he's been productive with ducks on the pond.
He's been a 4-year performer for the Tigers as well. Over 200 starts and over 200 hits in his career.
Trello with a wide lead off of first, and Schreitenthal ahead in the count 2-0.
Hitting .270 this year. He has 203 hits in his career, 87 RBIs.
That one misses outside to the lefty, and it's 3-0. Schreitenthal had a key hit against Cincinnati. The Tigers down 14-8 as he takes a strike. It's now 3-1. He had the 2-run double in the 7th that started that 6-run rally that Memphis needed to tie the game and send it to extras. 3-1. High and in, ball 4. So 2 on and 1 out for the Tigers as Schreitenthal trots down to first.
Montgomery might need to shake off some nerves, and Joshua McDonald, now in his 6th season as the pitching coach at UConn, will trot out there to talk with him. Montgomery is really known for his control, doesn't walk a lot of batters. He's actually 6th all-time in strikeouts at the University of Connecticut, now 222 in his career.
But he has hit a batter and walked the last 2. And now comes Colton Neal. Neal was batting 9th in the lineup. He's moved up to 7th for today. Had the game-winning RBI single in the 10th inning 2 days ago against Cincinnati. He also retired 9 in a row to finish the game as the pitcher. And he takes the ball 1-0.
I thought that was so interesting. 3 innings of relief, 3 hits in the ball game, including the game winner.
What a game that was. 29 combined runs, the most ever in the history of the American Athletic Conference tournament. 32 combined hits, and we had no errors between both squads.
Neal gets a lot of production out of that 5'9", 188-pound frame.
3 of 8 for the tournament. But 0 for 4 in his lone start against UConn this year. He waves and misses at that one, and the count now 1-2. Here's the game winner against Cincinnati in the 10th inning a couple days ago.
I'd go mob him out in the field, too.
That capped off a 15-14 game. Boy, was that fun. We had the wind. We had the drama with the weather coming in. We had 7 Cincinnati pitchers, 4 for Memphis. Tigers took a 5-run lead after the first 2 innings, gave it up. Cincinnati gave up a 6-run lead. And here are the Tigers. This one's up the middle, over towards second. Aaron Hill able to tag the bag at second, but unable to turn it over to first. So that'll be a fielder's choice, and it's runners on the corners with 2 out.
Hill does all he can to just knock this down and kind of dig-dugs his way to second base. Good idea to hold up on that. That would have prompted a run home by the Memphis runner. Dangerous batter coming to the plate, and Carlos Williams, who we've seen pitch hit. He got the start today in Game 3.
Williams, the junior, hitting .211 on the season. 1 homer, 13 runs batted in. Scored the winning run against Cincinnati in that highlight that you saw from the Colton Neal single. So Trella's at third. Schreitenthal was erased at second, so Neal stands on first. Williams this year 1 for 6 against the Huskies, and he's behind in the count 0-2.
In that 15-14 game that Memphis won, that was the 8th time this year they'd scored in double figures. They've won all of those games, but it was not the most runs they've scored. They beat Alcorn State 18-7 in the regular season.
Williams, a redshirt junior from Covington, Tennessee, hits this one over to third. Willie Yon grounds it, but it's dug out in time to end the inning. So Memphis gets 2 runners off, but they can't push any across. We played 2 full here in Clearwater. No score between UConn and Memphis in this elimination game on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Jeff Sharon, Garrett Woolvard with you here at Spectrum Field in beautiful Clearwater, Florida. Spring training home of the Philadelphia Phillies and hosting the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship once again, as it will be through the 2021 season. Go to the top of the third here. And Drew Crosby, the starter for the Memphis Tigers, will face 7, 8, and 9 in the UConn order. Leading off for the Huskies, the first baseman, Chris Winkle, freshman, hitting .222 on the year. He's got 1 home run and 14 runs batted in. Winkle normally wears number 11, but he's wearing number 22 today. And the first delivery from Crosby misses low and away to the lefty. Winkle's a big kid, 6'4", 202. He's from Orange, Connecticut, went to Amity High School. 1 for 3 in the tournament so far. Squares to bunt and pulls it back, takes a strike. This year against Memphis, Winkle 3 for 5 with a double and an RBI. That 1-1 just misses, and the count now 2-1.
Really took something off of that. Crosby goes down to 75 miles an hour. Looking for the sign from Santana, and he's got it.
No on, no out. 2-1. That one in the dirt outside, and it's 3-1.
First inning for Crosby, a couple of fly ball outs. Second inning, he got a strikeout of Lefebvre and induced a couple of ground balls. Done a good job of not letting his pitches get elevated and kept his pitch count low.
Hasn't allowed a base runner yet, but here's the 3-1 to Winkle, and this is wrote through the right side for a base hit, right on cue. So the first hit of the game for UConn puts the leadoff man on. And up steps the number 8 hitter, Aaron Hill.
Left-hander pulls this through the right side in between second and first. That's why they call it a hitter's count. 3-1, and he got on base first time today.
Hill, the second baseman for UConn, is 2 for 6 in the tournament. He's walked twice and scored 3 times, so he's been productive at the bottom of the order. And he loves hitting against Memphis pitching. Last year he had the home run in game 3 between these. So they throw back to first, not in time, as Hill was squaring to bunt. That solo home run in the second game between these two teams on Saturday gave UConn a much-needed insurance run and helped put them into the championship game where they defeated Houston to move on to the NCAA tournament. Hill this year against Memphis, no official at-bats. He came in as a pinch runner a couple times. He was battling a wrist injury at the time. Shows bunt on an 0-1 and pulls it back, and he's behind in the count 0-2. And let's see if that takes the bunt out of play.
90 miles an hour there by Crosby. Telling Hill, if you're going to drop a bunt, I'm going to make you earn it. Low and a heater. Hill decides that's not the pitch he wants to attempt at.
Hill struggled at the plate this year, 181, 15 of 83. Now, we mentioned the injury he was struggling with earlier in the year. This is just his 27th start. He really is their regular second baseman.
9 stolen bases on the year for Winkle over at first.
The 0-2 misses in, and it's now 1-2. Winkle with a big lead off of at first over there.
UConn runs a little bit. They average better than a steal per game, 56 of 76 on the season. Winkle's not bad. He's only been caught 3 times. Third on the team.
1-2 with a runner at first, and that one misses. The count square at 2-2. Nice block by Santana. Now, he talked about how Hill has struggled at the plate in terms of his hitting numbers, 181, but his on-base percentage is 324. He's walked 12 times this year, struck out 22. Two, runner goes. Santana throws down to second. It's not in time, and it goes into short left field. That's going to be a problem. Winkle heading for third, and he will stay right there. The pitch is a ball to Aaron Hill, so the count runs full, but now we got a runner on third and nobody out.
A very aggressive throw by Santana behind the plate. He's thrown out 24 base runners this year, but that one hopped badly into second, and it made an opportunity. He got a pretty good jump on the lefty, too. We'll see the throw down. Just gets away from the shortstop, Trella.
Like it may have hit Winkle in the back, and it bounced into no man's land out in left field. And Winkle has his 10th stolen base of the year. He stands on third with nobody out, and a full count pitch to Hill, who hits it in the air to left. That's what you want to do. Williams underneath it.
He'll be coming in.
Makes the catch. It's in short left, though. The runner cannot come home. How about that? So Williams makes the catch in short left field, not deep enough to score the runner, one down.
Pretty smart play by Jim Penders over off the third base side. I'd expect nothing less from him. Still just one out in the inning, a sac fly, maybe a little bit deeper, or the other part of the park, and you're able to get the run in. Don't gamble there.
And we saw very little wind here, but now the wind has picked up, blowing toward the right field foul pole. So maybe that helped to knock it down a little bit. Here's Keith Kruger, the center fielder. Kruger, a senior, hitting .215. No homers, 12 runs batted in. He has 5 doubles. Infield in for the Tigers with 1 out and a runner on third. And Santana blocks that one 1-0.
Hill didn't quite get it deep enough into left field. He only has 3 RBIs on the year. I'm sure he thought that was an opportunity.
Here you see the defensive alignment for Memphis. Also the outfield way over toward the left. You see Tyler Webb, the center fielder, a good 40 feet looks like he's over from dead center field.
Kruger, one of the better bunters on the team, 10 sacrifice bunts on the year. And Memphis has done their homework.
And they are shading him over towards left big time now. Kruger can pull this one. He could be running for a while. He takes a strike, 2-1. Kruger for the tournament, 1 for 5. 2 for 7 this year against the Tigers in that 3-game set back in early April. Both of those hits coming in that April the 8th game between these two pitchers. Montgomery for UConn and Crosby for Memphis. 2-1, waved at and missed. Fooled him on that one, and it's now 2-2.
Can't happen again. Got to make contact with this ball, put it in play, and force Memphis to make a throw with a runner on third and only 1 out. Got to strike first blood.
Good curveball low and away there by Crosby.
Up to Kruger now to protect at the plate.
Winkle, the runner at third, and this one's tapped right to Grudzielanek at second. He comes home to Santana, and they got him in a pickle. Santana chases Winkle back to third, and they tag him out. But with 2 out now, UConn still has a runner in scoring position. Heads up base running by Kruger, advancing to second. But Grudzielanek and Santana prevent the run from scoring. 2 out and a runner on second. Good job by Santana here.
Makes contact on the 2-2. And that was a good pickup there by Winkle to try and reverse course. Never know, somebody's going to make a mistake. He'll get doubled off there. And again, like you said, aggressive base running keeps that runner in scoring position.
There's Grudzielanek, got hit right to him. Schreitenthal applied the tag. So it went 4-2-5 on the putout if you're scoring at home. And we go back to the top of the order. And John Topa, who checks his swing. Did he go around? No. Says our first base umpire, Grady Smith. Topa. Oh, beg your pardon. Garrett, go ahead.
We'll just wait on this pitch.
1-0 with a runner on second. And this is tapped to the left side. Shortstop making the play. Trella on to first in time, and that ends the inning. We'll have to hold your thoughts to the next break, Garrett. So UConn able to get a runner over to third, but they can't push him in. No score after 2.5 here in Clearwater in this elimination game between Memphis and UConn here at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to to lead. Because an education isn't something you get. It's something you do.
No score as we head to the bottom of the third here in beautiful Clearwater. UConn and Memphis in this elimination game here on day number 4 of the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship. Jeff Sharon, Garrett Woolvard here with you on this gorgeous Florida day. So glad we could join us here on this Friday morning. Glad you're starting your Memorial Day weekend with us.
Memphis and Connecticut have met 17 times prior. First game was in 1999. UConn holds a 12-5 edge, and as you mentioned, 3 matchups last year, so they're very well acquainted with each other in American play.
9-1-2 due up for the Tigers against Wills Montgomery, and the first offering to Jason Santana. The Memphis catcher is lifted to right, camping underneath it and making the catch is Stefanski for UConn, 1 down.
First time that these two have seen each other in the tournament. Memphis, of course, playing against Cincinnati, winning that game 15-14, and losing on a comeback by Houston. The number 2 seed Cougars were down 5-2 in the 8th, came back to rally and win it. Memphis could not put any runs on the board in the 9th.
Top of the order now for Memphis with Tyler Webb stepping in. He struck out his first time.
Head coach of the Huskies, Jim Penders, in his 14th season. His teams have played in 5 tournament title games.
2 of the deans of coaching in this league between Darren Schoenrock and Jim Penders in this game once again. Talk about familiarity breeding contempt. Last year, these 2 teams, like you said, Garrett, met 3 times. UConn won 2 of them. First meeting was on Wednesday. Anthony Kay got the victory for UConn 6-2 between these 2. That sent Memphis to the losers bracket, where they then won 2 in a row against East Carolina, knocked out the 2 seed Pirates. 1-2 to Webb is in there, strike 3, and he knew it right away. Good pitch by Montgomery, and Webb goes down on strikes for the second time.
4 strikeouts in the ball game now for the big 6'3" right-hander, right down the pipe.
Brandon Grudzielanek steps to the plate. He flied out to center his first time. So those second 2 meetings were both on semifinal Saturday as Grudzielanek grounds over to short. Prado over to first in time, 2 down. Or correction, that ends the inning. Wow. Boy, that was pretty quick. So we'll get back to the look at last year's tournament between these 2 squads, but we move right along. We played 3 full no score between Memphis and UConn.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Back here in Clearwater. No score between UConn and Memphis as we go to the 4th. Nothing doing over at Frenchie's just yet on this warm Friday morning in this elimination game. Jeff Sharon and Garrett Woolvard here with you from Clearwater. What a beautiful day we have. Not a cloud in the sky.
Worshiping the sun. A couple of Memphis Tigers fans out there. How impressive has Drew Crosby been, the junior out here in what could be an elimination game for Memphis? In 3 innings, he's faced just 1 over the minimum. He gave up a single to Winkle. That's it.
At the heart of the order due up for UConn coming up as Anthony Prado swings and misses at the first offering. Prado is 0 for 1, popped out to first his first time, and he's down to the count 0-1 here. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire Scott Graham. And Crosby quickly ahead 0-2.
Really impressed with Prado. True freshman, starting at shortstop for a veteran club like Connecticut, and a 300 hitter. I think he's got a very bright future in stores.
Came into today hitting 7 for 10 for the tournament. This is a no man's land out and right. Who makes the catch? No, it falls in, and it goes all the way to the foul wall. Here's Prado racing around second, but he has to hold up. And let's see what they rule this one is. We had a Bermuda Triangle situation out here, and they're going to call that a hit for Anthony Prado, and he stands on second with no one out.
You see all three Tigers converging on it. I think it goes off Grudzelanik's glove. Let's take a look at the replay. Carrier thought he had a beat at it. Can't get there quite in time. Grudzelanik just off the webbing of his glove in fair territory.
Looked like Carrier might have had a shot at it as he was sliding in, but Grudzelanik went over the top. Not really his fault. They're both trying to go get it, and they're both probably saying, I got it, I got it.
Everybody's got a beat on the ball. They don't see the convergence.
And Prado advanced because it bounced away off the wall and foul ground. So Willie Jan steps to the plate with nobody out and a runner on second. This is the second consecutive inning that UConn has gotten the leadoff man on. Jan with runners in scoring position this year, hitting .341. He's 0 for 1, flied out to center. His first time. Crosby checks the runner.
Jan tied for fourth in this tournament, 4 RBIs. Only Jace Mercer of Cincinnati had more, and they've already been sent home.
What a game Mercer had in that 15-14 game between Memphis and the Bearcats a couple days ago. First offering to Jan is fouled off.
Mercer's 6 RBIs in one game, including a 3-run homer. Tied the single game record here in the tournament. Jan, an impressive player for Connecticut, junior captain, along with Aaron Hill. Great opportunity with nobody out and a man in scoring position.
Jan hitting .315 on the year. 0-1. Looked like that may have been a pitch out. Trella, the shortstop for Memphis, was coming in behind the runner at second. You know, Prado's got good speed out there, so trying to keep him back. With a lefty out there, chance that he might go for third. Jan hits this one the other way toward right. Heading over for it is Carrier. That's big trouble. It's off the wall. Carrier can't get it. Prado's racing around third. He's going to come in to score. And Willie Jan is already standing on second with an RBI double, and UConn strikes first. They lead 1-0 here in the top of the fourth.
Anthony Prado on base has to watch how this ball carries. It just kept going, and he decided to turn on the afterburners. The freshman, with the track speed, watches it go off the wall and will score all the way from first. Huge hit by Willie Jan to put them on the board. Extra base hits just keep coming for Jan.
2 batters, 2 doubles in this inning against Crosby, who had faced one over the minimum heading into this frame. And here comes Isaac Feldstein, who grounded out to second his first time. No one out still, and a runner on second. Feldstein takes a ball from Drew Crosby.
That'll prompt Russ McNichol to call time for Memphis and come out and talk with Crosby. Crosby was a freshman in 2015. He made 9 appearances and did not log a win or a loss. In 2016, he was second on the team with 28 games, most of them in relief. He was 0-2. This year he's been a little bit better as a starter. Gotten some Friday night starts. They've moved him around on Saturday and Sunday as well. Comes into the game 6-3.
And we have some action cranking up in the Memphis bullpen.
Well, there's Winkle's jersey, the 11.
Right,
we'd like to know who's in it. Jeff talked about how the jerseys were switched. Winkle wearing 22 for today's game.
All right, so after that conference on the mound, here comes Isaac Feldstein. Drew Crosby, the physics major from South Haven, Mississippi. Delivers ball 2 to Feldstein. 1-3-0 for UConn. 0-0-1 for Memphis. (2-0). That one misses low and in. 3-0. UConn's pushed one across on a double down the right field line by Willie Yon that went off the wall. That one kept carrying. Looked like he got help from some, or it looks like he got some help from a gust of wind on this hot Florida day. 87 degrees right now as we approach the noon hour. That one's in there for a strike, and it's 3-1.
Feldstein pretty effective against Memphis in the regular season. 3 RBIs, couple of hits, couple of runs scored. Helped his team sweep the Tigers. He'll take one on the outside corner. Thought it was ball 4.
So with a runner on second and no one on, and Feldstein hitting .317 with runners in scoring position this year, he's got an advantage here with a 3-1 count.
Nobody out. I'd be interested to see if he hit something into shallow center field. Would you send Yon around or keep him at third?
Well, the infield is playing back for Memphis. They're shading him over towards left in the outfield, and this is hit toward left, but Williams is right there, makes the catch, and Yon has to retreat to second.
Feldstein retired for the second time today. Runner remains in scoring position. Barreled this one up, but Carlos Williams is able to settle under that one. He's been tested a couple times today.
And so far, he's been in perfect defensive position as well so far. So it remains 1-0, and with one away and a runner on second, Alex Lefebvre steps to the plate. Lefebvre 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He's hitting .375 with runners in scoring position as that one's in the dirt. Good block once again by Santana. This year in 66 at-bats, Lefebvre hitting .423 with runners on. Got a pair of homers this year and 5 doubles. 1-0. Runner goes to third. Santana throws. It's in the dirt. Not in time. Stolen base for Willie Yon.
2 throws that have been off the mark by Santana, and UConn has taken advantage. That's the second time in this tournament we've seen somebody steal third. Somebody call Ricky Henderson. Wake him up. Love it when guys steal third.
Garrett, I was going to say, that's exactly what you want to see. This guy's running and stealing third. Looked like Santana may have had a shot at him, but the throw was in the dirt. Good call with a right-handed hitter up there, too, and good speed on second. So Yon stands at third. Sacrifice is in play with 1 out, and here's the 1-1 to Lefebvre. And he fists this one over towards right. Turner can't quite get there. Looked like that one was in on the handle on him.
I guess Jim Penders really just had a feeling because Yon had 5 stolen bases total on the year. Thought that was a good opportunity against Santana, again with the big right-handed bat in his face to throw down to third.
Crosby out of the stretch deals pitch number 57 on the day. It's a 1-2 and it's fouled off. Well, this is his 3rd appearance in as many games in the tournament for the Tigers.
Memphis in the last inning was able to strand a runner on third with 1 out.
It'll be a 1-2 with 1 out here, and good speed with Willie Yon standing over at third for the Huskies. And that one's outside. Count square at 2-2. Now here's where you start to get worried about Crosby's pitch count. He threw 12 pitches in a perfect inning of relief against Houston in the first game of the tournament for the Tigers.
On Tuesday.
Or Tuesday, beg your pardon. 33 pitches against Cincinnati, and he got knocked around. This is a tough play at third. Streitenthal can't make the play, and the run comes in to score. It's 2-0 UConn. Let's see what they rule that one. Would have been a really tough play for Zach Streitenthal over at third.
Streitenthal has been so good in this tournament at fielding. I think he wanted to make the throw home there and lost sight of the ball. So the stolen base that Penders calls for sends Yon home on a little tapper on the left side.
And they rule it an error on Zach Schreitenthal. And that brings up Stefanski, and he hits this one towards the gap in right center, but underneath it is Carrier. He makes the play, 2 out. And the runner stays at first.
That'll be the 12th error of the season for Schreitenthal. And for Memphis, their 2nd of the game already.
So UConn has struck across for 2 here in the top of the 4th, and that's where we stand, 2-0. And Chris Winkle stepping to the plate with 2 out and a runner on first. Winkle with a hit and a stolen base. And that one misses inside. One 1-0 from Crosby, and he checks over at first. So Crosby is now up over 60 pitches. He threw 33 his last time out in an inning and a third against Cincinnati in relief. So he is up over 100 pitches for the tournament. And that one misses. It's now 2-0. Winkle with 2 out, hitting just .255. Crosby kicks and fires that one. It's popped up and in foul ground, out of play. A reminder, coming up next, game number 10 of the tournament at about 3 p.m. UCF against USF. War on I-4 once again.
Politely called the war on I-4. It actually means a lot more at both schools than that.
The 2-1 is in there for a strike. Good pitch by Crosby to square the count at 2-2. Zelonix over on the outfield grass over at second. 2-2 to Winkle. Runner goes. Waved at and missed, strike 3. And that ends the inning. But UConn pushes 2 across here in the top of the 4th. They take a 2-0 lead on Memphis in this elimination game. It's the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship from Clearwater.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Jeff Sharon, Garrett Wolver with you here from Clearwater. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 UConn. And so far, it's been a bright day for Wills Montgomery on the hill for the Huskies. He's got 4 strikeouts so far.
Montgomery's so effective. He was able to get back-to-back Ks in the first, struck out Webb, then struck out Carrier to end the inning. He was effective against Trent Turner, the first baseman. Blows one by him, and he knew it, heads back to the dugout. And then the top of the 3rd takes out Webb again. Just an unbelievable record for UConn. 560 total strikeouts this season, a new school record. That's 2nd overall in the American this year. Only USF has more team strikeouts with 590.
And what's nice about that is each strikeout that they pick up the rest of the way, they set a new record at 560 for the year.
Very good strikeout to walk ratio for both UConn and USF. Some of the best numbers across the country. And just another tip of the cap to what UConn has done continuously under Coach Jim Penders and his staff. I mean, when you think about the fact that we're here in Game 3, we still haven't even seen the Rookie of the Year in Fioli.
Right.
We still haven't seen Russell, you know, the standout closer with 14 saves. I mean, they have got arms for days.
And the credit also goes to Joshua McDonald, too, the UConn graduate back from 2006, the pitching coach for the Huskies. As Chris Carrier steps to the plate and fouls off the first delivery from Montgomery. Carrier struck out his first time. And he's quickly behind 0-2 in the count. As a leadoff hitter, Carrier hitting .459 this year. He's pushed his slugging percentage this season up to .645. That one's in the dirt. Came into today 6 for 10 with a pair of home runs, a double. 6 RBI on the tournament. Stands to reason that he might get consideration for all-tournament team this year. That one gets away again in the dirt, and we're square at 2-2.
Since coming into the tournament, Carrier has gone over 150 career games started for the Tigers. The senior, who is a Memphis native, has 27 career home runs and 115 runs batted in. Looks at a poor pitch from Montgomery, and he's worked himself even.
Swung on and missed on a 2-2, and Chris Carrier has gone down swinging for the second time. And Wills Montgomery looks on today.
Power on power. Keeps it on the outside part of the plate. Chris can't catch up with it. 5 strikeouts on the afternoon.
Trent Turner now steps to the plate. He struck out his last time as well. Saw Carrier as he trotted back to the dugout with a look back at Scott Graham, the home plate umpire. The 1-0 to Turner. And that one misses 2-0. Well, a sharp contrast for Montgomery to his last outing against the Tigers back on April the 8th. He only lasted 2 innings in that one. Cut on and missed 2-1. Gave up 5 earned runs, 6 total on 7 hits, walked 3, had no strikeouts. So far today, he's brought the heat. 5 strikeouts in this game. Here in the bottom of the 4th. One out, no one on. And a 2-2 pitch coming to Trent Turner. And the count runs full. Turner has a home run and a double in this tournament. He hits this one in the air towards center. This could be trouble. Heading in and making the catch in center is Keith Kruger. 2 down.
Just a little 35-yard sprint. Nothing big. Kruger makes it look easy. But with the sun high in the sky here in Clearwater and that long jaunt, he had to put in quite a bit of effort to get that fly ball out. Second of the inning.
This is why you put your speed out in center field. 2 down, no one on, and Alec Trella will step to the plate. He was hit by a pitch his last time, stayed in the game. It's a scary moment. It looked like it glanced off of his nose. There you see the bandage in his nostrils.
True freshman playing for the Tigers in his first American tournament.
Here's the hit batsman for Trella earlier. You see it glance off of his nose. Stayed in the game, though. And there you see his reaction as he headed back. Swung on and missed. And the count 2-1. Trella took over at short this year for Jake Overby, who had a whale of a tournament last year. At times single-handedly kept Memphis in some of those elimination games. And Trella hits this one high in the air, deep to left center. Chasing after it is Kruger. He leaps and can't make the catch. It's off the wall. Trella's around second. He's going to try for 3. Here comes the throw, not in time. So Alec Trella gave that one a ride toward left center. And he now stands at third with 2 away. That's his first triple of the season.
Outside part of the plate, Montgomery kept it away. And I'll tell you what, Kruger had a good beat on this ball. Let's slow it down and take a look. Just off the front of his glove. Couldn't get there in time. And talk about the wheels by Trella. He was motoring around second.
So it is a triple for Trella with 2 away. And Zach Schreitenthal will step to the plate. He walked his first time. He fouls that one back toward us. Schreitenthal with 2 out is hitting .269 on the year. .404, however, with runners in scoring position. Takes the 0-1, and we're even at 1 apiece. 2-0 your score. UConn with the lead. They picked up both runs in the top of the 4th. But Memphis trying to cut into that lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Trella's triple, the first hit of the game for Memphis, and this is grounded over toward Aaron Hill at second. No problem. That ends the inning. So Memphis gets the 2-out triple, but can't push Trella across. Your score remains 2-0. UConn with the lead through 4 full here in this elimination game in Clearwater. You're watching the American Digital Network.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
2-0 Huskies lead the Tigers here in this elimination game at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship. We go to the top of the 5th. Jeff Sharon and Garrett Woolford with you here. And Aaron Hill will lead off for UConn. 8-9-1 facing Drew Crosby, who's back out there for the Tigers. Crosby got off to a good start, but gave up back-to-back doubles to start the previous frame to Prado and Jan. Combine that with the error on Schreitenthal, and there's your 2 runs for UConn in the top of the 4th. First pitch to Hill is in there for a strike. Hill flying out to left his first time. .306 as a leadoff hitter this year. Mentioned Crosby has pitched in all 3 games for Memphis in the tournament so far. This is his first start of the tournament. Approaching 70 pitches. Memphis had the day off yesterday, thanks in part to the schedule changes from the storm that we were expecting to come through, and it did come through on Wednesday afternoon, immediately following that 15-14 game where the Tigers beat Cincinnati. UConn, on the other hand, coming off of that tough 7-6 loss to Houston last night. 2-1 to Hill, fouled back, 2-2. Crosby's already up and over the innings total that he had in the tournament against UConn last year. He threw 4 innings in his start against the Huskies. More or less did his job. Scattered 5 hits, gave up only 1 earned run, walked 4 and struck out 3. In Memphis's 9-5 victory in the first game on semifinal Saturday between these two. UConn beat Memphis later that day to advance to the championship game. Aaron Hill takes ball 4 and trots down to first. Third consecutive inning that UConn has gotten the leadoff man on.
First walk given up by Drew Crosby in today's ballgame. Now he'll face the bottom of the order, Kruger, with a man on.
Kruger grounded into a 4-2-5 fielder's choice back in the third. Hill with very good speed over at first. Crosby's going to check on him. This year, Hill 4 out of 5 in the stolen base department. And you got to think it's starting to wear on Crosby a little bit as he's in the 5th inning. Down 2-0. Leadoff man on once again for UConn. And the pitch to Kruger, he bunts it back to Crosby. Good play. But Kruger does his job advancing the runner, and it's Hill on second now with 1 out.
Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Crosby fields his position very well. Just 1 error in 55 career games. Doesn't hesitate to make the play here. He'll let the runner go to second and get the valuable out.
Back to the top of the order for the Huskies, and John Topa steps to the plate. Topa, the left fielder, 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. Last year in that first game against Memphis, a 6-2 UConn victory, Topa had 4 RBI, 3 of them on a double and a 2-base error that broke open the scoring. He came all the way around to score on that play. And he takes a strike, 0-1.
Nice break by Crosby coming in on the right-hander.
I was going to say that was a good pitch right there on the painting the inside corner. Aaron Hill stands at second. And the 0-1. Topa chops this one left side. Schreitenthal looks the runner back and throws on in time. 2 down. Good play by Schreitenthal, keeping Hill over at second.
Topa really couldn't do a lot with that pitch from Crosby. Down and just chops it immediately into the glove of Schreitenthal. Looks the runner over to first.
And here comes Anthony Prado, who doubled his last time and scored. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He was 5 for 15 this year in the 3 regular season matchups against Memphis. And he takes that one low and in. Prado, we mentioned how hot he has been coming into this game in the tournament. 7 for 10 coming into today. A double, a triple, 6 runs batted in so far this year in Clearwater. Chance to push another one across here for the Huskies. Already up 2-0. Crosby looks Hill back. Prado was second in the conference this year in runs scored. And he waves and misses at that one. 1-1. Fooled by that pitch by Crosby.
Prado got off to a great start his first weekend. He went 6 of 10 in the opening weekend, and he started all but 4 games this year for Coach Penders as a rookie. One of those guys he's going to do it really well for 3 years, maybe 4.
The action has died down in the Memphis bullpen. 1-1 misses in. Another good block by Santana. Two, 3, and nothing for UConn. 0, 1, and 2 for Memphis. This is an elimination game. Loser goes home. Winner moves on to tomorrow. to face the number 2 seeded Houston Cougars at 10 a.m. You can catch that game right here on the American Digital Network. We have one more game today at 3 o'clock. UCF against USF. 2-1, misses high, 3-1. Well, what do you do here if you're Drew Crosby with 2 out and a runner on second and you're behind 3-1 to a good hitter like Prado?
You be careful, but you trust that you're going to hit your spot. You take a look at where Coach McNichol calls for it. You believe that you're going to win.
Willian is on deck. So with Hill on second, here's the 3-1 to Prado. And that's in there for a strike. Prado thought that was outside, and the count runs full. Runner's going to go.
Just off the outside part of the plate. You mentioned it earlier. Painting. Little masterpiece right there. Let's see if you can do it one more time with the full count.
Hill is on second. And a payoff pitch to Prado. And Crosby's going to look him back.
Crosby's next pitch will be his 80th. This is where you reach down deep. His 3rd appearance of the week. The first 2 in relief. Today gets the start.
And Prado hits this one towards center. Underneath it is Webb. And that ends the inning. So UConn can't increase the lead in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Huskies still leading Memphis 2-0 here at the American Conference Baseball Championship in Clearwater.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
2-0 your score. UConn leading Memphis here at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship here in beautiful Clearwater, Florida. Jeff Sharon and Garrett Woolvard here with you. See some of the scouting folk here taking a look at some potential prospects for both of these squads.
Certainly William Montgomery would be one of them at 6'3", 220. He's one of those workhorses that goes deep into games. 12 times this year, Montgomery has pitched into the 7th inning.
And his first delivery to Colton Neal misses ball 1.
So far, Montgomery, 4 innings of shutout ball. He's allowed 1 hit.
And he's quickly behind in the count 2-0. Montgomery's been pretty efficient so far, 58 pitches here in the bottom of the 5th. And Neal takes a strike. Neal grounded into a fielder's choice his first time. He swings and misses at that one, and it's 2-2. Credit to Montgomery. He's been moving very quickly so far in this game, and that rhythm has been working for him so far.
Junior right-hander sends it across the zone there.
It'll be a 2-2. And this is tapped lightly back to Montgomery under his glove. Going to be a tough play for Hill. He makes it. Good play by Aaron Hill backing up his pitcher. 1 down.
I don't know if you could see it on the broadcast, but a big smile on the face of William Montgomery. It just got under his glove.
You can see him thanking Aaron Hill. Thanks for backing me up on that one. So with one away and no one on, here's Carlos Williams. And he takes the ball once again from Montgomery. Wills Montgomery has 5 strikeouts on the day. He's only walked 1, giving up just 1 hit. That came in the previous frame, that triple by Alec Trella with 2 out. Williams grounded to third his last time. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not, says first base umpire Grady Smith. Boy, Montgomery right back to work right after that, too. And how much does that throw off a hitter when you're waiting on sort of something like that, like an appeal or something, and you look and the pitcher's ready to deliver the ball once again. Here comes the 3-1, and that one misses ball 4. So Williams trots down to first with a 1-out walk.
Second free pass of the ball game given out. Schreitenthal drew a walk. Trella has been hit, but that is the second walk of the ball game. And Montgomery really made his name known on all the strikeouts that he's racked up this year. His next will be his 115th in the regular season. Somehow, no strikeouts in his start against Memphis. Just not as effective against them. Only went 2 innings.
Jason Santana steps to the plate with 1 out. And he takes a strike on the first pitch. Williams over at first is only the 4th base runner of the game for the Tigers. Santana flied out to right his first time. Here's the 0-1. And that one's fouled back. Williams over at first is a threat to steal. 5 for 7 on the year.
Watch this ball go off Santana's mask. Knocks it sideways. Reminds me of Danny Warfel in a Saints uniform. Don't speak ill of Lefebvre. Apologies.
And that one's cut on and missed by Santana. And he goes down. Another strikeout for Montgomery. That's his 6th of the game so far.
Montgomery again off speed and on the outside part of the plate. Not much you can do with that one. Even if you step into it, try and drive it the other way, it's likely a pop fly. Montgomery, an American second team all-conference selection. Also on that team with him, John Russell, who we have not seen yet, but has 14 saves on the year. Dynamite closer.
Tyler Webb has struck out twice. He takes a strike on the first delivery.
Anthony Prado and Willie Yon also second team performers for the Huskies.
Just another year for Jim Penders' squad, huh? They lead 2-0 in this elimination game, but Memphis has a runner on. Williams is going to go, and this one's grounded left side. Jan Field's going to be a tough play. It's off the bag, and then Williams advances to third. How about that heads-up play by Carlos Williams? And Memphis has runners on the corners now and 2 out.
Jan thought he had a chance to make the throw. Didn't realize that Williams was going to be so speedy from second to third. Pulls the man off the bag, and he'll slide in. Runners on the corners, 2 out.
Second hit of the game for Memphis. And the heads-up play by Williams puts him on third with Brandon Grudzielanek stepping to the plate with 2 out. Grudzielanek flied out to center in the first and grounded out to short in the third. With 2 out, Brandon's hitting .258 this year, and he fouls the first delivery off. Should Brandon Grudzielanek reach, Chris Carrier would step to the plate. So once again, Memphis with a runner on third with 2 out for the second consecutive inning. This time they have runners on the corners. And the 0-1. In there for a strike. And the count now 0-2 to Brandon Grudzielanek.
Grudzielanek started every game for the Tigers last year, hit almost 300. Had come over from McLennan Community College. Now in his final year with Memphis, Played in every game but 8. See what the senior can do here with a runner on third base.
The 0-2. That one just misses, and Grudzielanek staying alive at 1-2.
One of 7 seniors on this Memphis team trying to stave off elimination. Last year they came in here, Jeff, with 19 wins. They really had to put together a little streak just to get to 20-plus wins. This year they've won their 30th in Clearwater. Continue to hit that milestone under Darren Schoenrock. It seems like almost every year, 30 or more wins.
And it's a credit to the quality of the conference in general this year that Memphis, with 10 more wins this year, and they finished in 7th place. Last year they finished in 6th.
Wow, good stat. There's Coach Schoenrock.
1-2, runner goes from first, throw down to second, not in time, double steal, and Aaron Hill throws it to the backstop. The runner comes in to score. So the double steal works, and Carlos Williams steals home. It's now 2-1, UConn with the lead.
Uncharacteristic by Hill, just his 4th error of the year, but unloads one. A little excited and airmails it to the backstop. Memphis has cut the lead in half. And the aggressive base running of Memphis on the last at-bat. And now the throwdown, which maybe is a little ill-advised. They're trying to prompt a throw, right? They're trying to bait him to come home, and he slides in safe.
Well, it worked, and then Hill threw it all the way to the backstop. And now Webb stands on third, and Grudzielanek faces a 2-2. He was behind in the count 0-2. Montgomery deals out of the windup, and this is hit in the air to center. Kruger heading back for it, and he's having trouble with it. It's way back there, and it's off the top of the wall. Webb comes in to score. Grudzielanek around second. He will trot into third with an RBI triple, and we are all tied at 2 apiece.
Memphis fans have come to their feet. We're knotted up at 2. The second triple of the season for the senior, Brandon Grudzielanek.
Well, that ball got hung up there, and it caught the jet stream that's blowing out toward right today, and it just kept on going.
Kruger was fairly deep. I mean, he's 350 feet out there, and this ball just keeps going all the way to the top of the Enterprise Rent-A-Car sign, bounces back in play, and that allows him to motor from second to third.
And now Chris Carrier steps to the plate with a runner on third and 2 out. Carrier has struck out twice. And he takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. We mentioned how good Carrier's been in this tournament so far with a pair of home runs, double, 6 runs batted in. And we're going to have a visit to the mound. Joshua McDonald, the UConn pitching coach, out to check on Montgomery.
During the last half inning, UConn's bullpen ran out over the left field wall. They've been sitting in the dugout, so they're out there, but nobody up right now for the Huskies. They've got belief that Montgomery, the all-conference selection, can carry them through this little rough patch. Again, 12 games this year where he's gone 6 innings or longer. They'd really like to get as much as they can out of him, because if they can advance, you'd like to see Fioli, Russell, and some others, maybe Rosamondo, who's got 8 starts on the year, be rested as much as they can for what should be a grueling Saturday, trying to win twice on their side of the bracket.
But this is the tough spot that Jim Penders and UConn are in right now, because remember, this is an elimination game. So you don't want things to get too out of hand too quickly. Here in the bottom of the 5th, first pitch to Carrier goes to the backstop. It's a wild pitch, and Grudzielanek scores. Memphis takes the lead. Well, how about that? Memphis has struck back with 3 here in the bottom of the 5th. They lead 3-2, and Montgomery, who was sailing through this ballgame so far, is now trailing.
The triple by Grudzielanek. He'll come in and score on the 6th wild pitch of the year by William Montgomery. Didn't match up with his catcher there. Lefebvre not set up on that part of the plate, and sliding in safe is Grudzielanek.
And Carrier fouls off the 2-0. So the base is empty now with 2 out.
How about the Memphis Tigers? Down 2-0 in an elimination game. Pour 3 runs on in the 5th.
And all of these runs have scored with 2 out. Carrier swings and misses. It's 2-2.
Montgomery reared back there, 90 miles an hour on the fastball.
Looked like he took a little bit of frustration out on that one, too.
Come on, Chris. Gotta be good, buddy.
Carrier has struck out twice today. And he swings and laces this one up the middle for a 2-out single. So Chris Carrier stands on first with 2 out.
Carrier struck out swinging through a breaking ball last time. He guesses that he'll get the fastball and puts the barrel right on it. 90 miles an hour, outside corner, and he's on base with 2 outs.
3 consecutive hits against Wills Montgomery. And Trent Turner stands in now with 2 out. Turner is 0 for 2. And he hits this one in the air to right. Stefanski ranging over toward the foul line, makes the catch, and ends the inning. But the Memphis Tigers fight back to knock across 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Your new score is Memphis 3, UConn 2 in this elimination game here at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship in Clearwater. You're watching the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
3-2 your score as we head to the top of the 6th. Jeff Sharon, Garrett Woolvard with you from Clearwater. And the guy in the Memphis jersey right there, that's Alex Cross, tight end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Memphis graduate. He's got to be happy with what he saw in the previous half a frame. As the Tigers fight back against William Montgomery, who was sailing through for UConn.
Went undrafted in 2016, signed with the Bucks in May. Big kid, too. 6'2", 235. Cheering his Tigers on. I'd be doing the same thing.
And he's going to watch Drew Crosby head into his 6th inning of work, now with the lead in the ballgame, facing third baseman Willie Yan to lead off the top of the 6th. And Yan takes that one in the dirt. Crosby has thrown, well, now 5+, given up 2 runs, 1 of them earned on 3 hits, walked 1 and struck out 2 so far. He's done his job. Considering the trouble that Memphis has had so far with their bullpen in this tournament, the longer he can go, the better.
Number 20 warming up for Memphis is Hunter Smith, a sophomore. Little side action.
Yan fouls that one off, and it's now 1-2. 2, 3, and 1 for UConn. 3, 4, and 2 for Memphis. But 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Huskies. Yan doubled, stole a base, and knocked in a run his last time. And he hits this one to left. Nice stop by Schreitenthal. Can he get him in time? Yes, he can. Zach Schreitenthal with a web gem over at third, 1 down.
Do you have any doubt that senior doesn't want to go home? That's 4 set down in a row by Drew Crosby and a gold star play by the hot corner. Zach Schreitenthal dives to his left, up with it quick, and a bullet over to first.
Yeah, he had to get up with it quick because Yan with such good speed down the line. Excellent play by Zach Schreitenthal, the senior, over at third. Now here's Isaac Feldstein. Feldstein has not reached base yet today. Grounded out and flied out.
Crosby on the hill. Now pitching today. He has just 2 victories in American play this season. He beat Cincinnati with 7 strong innings of 3-hit ball, and he got his 6th and final win of the year against Tulane at home.
The 0-1. This one's fisted to the middle of the diamond. Crosby will take care of it himself. 2 down.
For me, as a batter, growing up, no more frustrating time than anything to the pitcher. Little weak thing to the pitcher, little pop to the pitcher. You just walk back to the dugout and you can only hope to do better next time. I know that's frustrating.
And a good pitch, though, on the inside corner by Crosby, who is still hitting his spots. He's at 86 pitches right now. Now, bear in mind, he's thrown in every game for Memphis so far. 33 pitches his last time out 48 hours ago against Cincinnati in relief. Got knocked around in that ball game. He threw only 12 pitches, though, in his first game against Houston. Lefebvre, the catcher, now stands in for UConn. Struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. Base is empty, 2 down.
Crosby will step off the hill for a moment, take a deep breath, and stretch out that pitching arm.
A reminder, the winner of this game gets another shot at the Houston Cougars in game number 11, which will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. here in Clearwater on the American Digital Network. Crosby comes back to deal a strike. It's 2-1. Coming up next after this game, it's UCF and USF here at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship. Another elimination game. Talk about 2 matchups today where, you know, we mentioned the old cliche, familiarity breeds contempt. Memphis and UConn faced each other 3 times in the tournament last year. UConn won 2 of them. Of course, that goes without saying with UCF and USF whenever they take the field.
I think people expected to see the Bulls and the Knights on Wednesday's game in the winners bracket,
right.
And then ECU just really took it to UCF. But now to get this chance, both of them are trying to extend their seasons. 2 of the most talented teams in the conference for sure. You know, USF with 41 wins on the year, UCF 39-40 wins on the year. 2 powerhouses in the league.
How about East Carolina last night with that comeback victory in the 9th, knocking off USF? The 8-seed Pirates are sitting pretty, awaiting the winner of game number 10 between UCF and USF on Saturday afternoon.
A pinch hit squeeze by a senior who comes in to drive in Charlie Yorgan. They're calling them the Suicide Squad on social media. I mean, just an incredible way to win a ball game.
2 out, no one on, and a 2-2 to Alex Lefebvre. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Drew Crosby has set down 6 in a row, and Memphis leading 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th here in Clearwater. You're watching the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
To the bottom of the 6th inning we go. Jeff Sharon And Garrett Wolford with you here in Clearwater in this elimination game. The Memphis Tigers leading the UConn Huskies 3-2. So happy to be among the first to issue a happy Memorial Day weekend here for some morning baseball. Well, now it's 12:45 Eastern in the afternoon. Wills Montgomery back out there for the 6th inning. The UConn starter has given up 3 runs, all of them earned on 4 hits. They all came in the previous half a frame that he threw, as Alec Trella swings and misses at the first delivery, 0-1. Trella knocked across the first hit on Montgomery his last time. It was a 2-out triple back in the 4th. He's reached base both times. He was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd. Scariest moment of the game so far when he got hit. Stayed in the game, came back, got a triple in his 2nd at bat. Some action in the UConn bullpen. Looks like C.J. Dandino, the redshirt sophomore, is up and getting loose. 2-2 now the count to Trella. First batters of the inning are hitting .318 off of Montgomery this year, and Trella, that one's up and in again. He fisted that one foul.
If Dandino would come in, that would be his 2nd appearance in relief in this tournament. Montgomery still got great velocity on that fastball.
Approaching the 90 pitch mark. The 2-2 cut on and missed. Strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for William Montgomery.
Talked about velocity. Continues to put it right where he wants it too. Outside part of the plate to the right-hander. That'll bring up Schreitenthal.
Well, Zach Schreitenthal, who had a web gem over at 3rd in the previous half inning. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Walked his first time back in the 2nd. Grounded out to 2nd in the 4th. And he takes a strike. Don't see any action in the Memphis bullpen just yet. Schreitenthal laces that one foul down the left field line. Schreitenthal struggled a little bit against UConn this year. 2 of 11 at the plate in the 3 games against the Huskies back in Stores. Colton Neal is on deck. Bases empty, 1 out. 1-2 from Montgomery. That one misses in, and Schreitenthal checked it up.
There's Neal, who was 0 for 2 in his last game and then reeled off 3 consecutive singles, including the game winner against Cincinnati.
Also picked up the win on the mound. Schreitenthal fights that one off again, stays alive at 2-2.
Montgomery pumped it up a little bit there. Went from that 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball to 91 on the gun. We'll see here in the 6th inning if he's got enough to get it past Schreitenthal's bat with the heat.
Here's the 2-2. Grounded back, and Montgomery knocked it off behind his back. It's going to make Schreitenthal reach over at first. So that's a bad break for Montgomery. And they're going to call that a base hit. It's the 5th hit of the game for the Tigers. And Schreitenthal reaches for the 2nd time.
92 miles an hour. And look at this. Going backwards, just got a piece of it with his glove, but he redirects it, and Jan's not going to have a play on the left side of the infield.
So Schreitenthal over at first with 1 away. And here is Colton Neal, the hero from 48 hours ago. Takes a strike.
Well, Neal got on the hill and dominated for Memphis. Cincinnati had double-digit runs and hits, and then he set down 9 batters in a row.
And he laces this one into left, and it falls in for a hit. 1st and 2nd, and 1 out for the Tigers. So Colton Neal, the 5'9", 188 sophomore from Cordova, Tennessee, Memphis University School graduate, reaches with one away.
Montgomery throwing it right over the plate the last couple of batters. Isn't doing a lot to hide it. He's just trying to throw strikes, and Memphis is able to put it where the fielders aren't.
And that will bring up Carlos Williams. So 2 straight hits with 1 out against Montgomery. And a discussion on the mound between Prado, the shortstop, and the catcher Lefebvre. And the pitcher Montgomery. There's Jim Penders, showing a little bit of concern, understandable right now. This is a big spot for Montgomery. You're trailing 3-2. You've got 2 on and 1 out in an elimination game, a relatively unfamiliar position for UConn after last night's loss to Houston. And now Carlos Williams will step to the plate. He walked and stole home last time up. And this is tapped to the left side. Tough chopper. They throw on from short, and they throw it away. Breitenthal is going to come in to score, and Neal's rounding third. He's going to come in and be thrown out at home. Nice throw to get Colton Neal at home, but Memphis extends the lead to 4-2. So a bad throw over at short by Prado. That's rare. And Neal trying to get a little bit greedy on that one. Thrown out at the plate. Let's take a look at it again.
What a wild play. This one takes him back into the hole at shortstop. Thinks he has a play at the top. Hill can't get his hands on it. 1 run will come around to score. Coming in from the outfield is Stefanski. His throw to the plate is on line, and you're going to see a textbook tag. Blocks the plate, gets his glove down, holds on to the ball, and that'll be the second out of the inning.
So officially ruled in E6 on Prado, but Williams with good speed stands on third with 2 out, and Jason Santana takes strike 1. So it's now 4-2.
Come on, buddy.
Scoreboard says 5-2. I believe it's
5-2.
I believe it's 4-2.
Yeah, it should be 4-2. That's.
We came in with Memphis on top, 3-2, first run of the inning. They've got it as 2. I think they made an assumption.
As that one's fouled off with 2 out.
Watch your bender. Be ready. Be ready.
2-3-2 for UConn, and it should be 4-7-2 for Memphis. And that one's fouled back by Santana. Good pitch by Montgomery, who's still scuffling. And now we don't see any action in the UConn bullpen once again, do we?
No, we don't. And we see Williams' hit into the hole at shortstop ruled an RBI single. I don't think they would have been able to get that throw across the diamond in time.
And that pitch up high. Well, the official ruling, boy, we got to apologize to you for the viewer. They're ruling that Neal scored unearned. And this one's hit in the air towards center. It's going to fall in and knock in Williams. A base hit for Jason Santana and an RBI. And UConn now trailing 6-2.
Memphis just pouring it on here in the 6th inning. And UConn does not have an answer. Waited on the breaking ball. They're guessing right against Montgomery here, and that'll stop in shallow center field and bring the run home.
So now we go to the top of the order in Tyler Webb. And that looks like it's going to be enough for Wills Montgomery as Jim Penders trots out to the circle to go get his starter. With 2 out here, and they have corrected the score. It is 5-2.
As Neal was thrown out.
Exactly. I thought my eyes didn't deceive me for a second there. It was, but they finally corrected. So it is 5-2 Memphis. And we will have a new pitcher for UConn as Montgomery frustrated as he leaves the field. It's 5-2 Memphis with the lead with 2 out here in the 6th.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is Yukon.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
Back here in Clearwater, it's 5-2 Memphis over UConn in this elimination game. 2 out in the bottom of the 6th, and a new pitcher out there for UConn is number 30, John Russell, right-hander, junior from Glastonbury, Connecticut, UConn Avery Point High School graduate.
Russell, a shut-down saver. I mean, this is a guy that comes in relief and does not allow runs. 14 saves on the year. This is his first appearance in the American tournament in 2017.
And he will face the top of the order with a runner on first as Tyler Webb, who struck out twice and got a base hit. Shows a bunt with 2 out.
Russell 2-2 on the year with a 3.12 ERA, facing Tyler Webb. 22 appearances, all in relief. Again, 14 saves.
Pitch is in there for a strike from Russell.
In 34 2/3 innings pitched in the regular season, he gave up just 25 hits, struck out 61, and opponents are hitting 198 against him.
Santana, an RBI single, stands at first. It's the 0-2 to the leadoff hitter Webb. He waves and misses at that one. It's in the dirt. They'll throw down to first to complete the strikeout. But the Memphis Tigers strike across for 2 more here in the bottom of the 6th. They lead UConn 5-2 through 6 full. Here in this elimination game, it's the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is Yukon.
5-2 Memphis, your score as we head to the 7th in this elimination game here in Clearwater. It's the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship. Jeff Sharon and Garrett Wolverd with you as Drew Crosby heads back out there for his 7th inning of work for the Tigers. He's given up only 3 hits and 2 runs so far. And he will face 6, 7, and 8 in the UConn order.
Crosby, the junior left-hander, has now thrown 6 innings or more 8 times this year. His season long is 7 2/3. He's gone 7 innings plus just twice. This, again, is his 3rd appearance. The first 2 were in relief. What's he got left in the tank, Jeff? I think the fact that he set down 6 in a row, he can still sparkle here.
Got 3 strikeouts to his credit, and the first delivery to Troy Stefanski is a strike, 0-1. Crosby, the lefty. Tell you, has he been a gamer today or what? Considering that this is his third appearance in as many games in the tournament as Memphis has played. His first start. He threw 45 pitches total in his first 2 relief outings. This one's lifted to left. Williams has it, 1 down. Chris Winkle now will step to the plate.
Stefanski hitless today. Will head back to the dugout. Now the big first baseman will step in.
Winkle with a hit in the 3rd and a strikeout in the 4th. And that one misses, or catches the corner rather. Strike 1. UConn jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the top of the 4th rather. Before Memphis struck back for 3 in the bottom of the 5th and 2 more in the bottom of the 6th. That's where we stand. That one just misses, and the count now 1-1. 2-3-2 for the Huskies. 5-8-2 for the Tigers.
You mentioned how much UConn had struggled against left-handers during the season. They're just 8-9 versus southpaws in 2017.
And you consider the struggles that Memphis's bullpen has had so far, not just throughout the season, but especially in this tournament. For Drew Crosby to go 6+ strong here is just what the doctor ordered for head coach Darren Schoenrock and his Memphis Tigers. Two and 1 to Winkle. And that one catches the outside corner. Another gorgeous pitch by Crosby. And this will be pitch number 100 coming up. Crosby, a graduate of DeSoto Central High School in South Haven, Mississippi. Left-handed junior, kicks and fires. That one's up high, the count full.
Last couple of pitches, he's really reared back. Hit 89 miles an hour on the gun with them there.
And, you know, not for nothing, but I'm curious as to how much his mechanics have mattered today, because you consider he's been dealing from the stretch throughout the entire game. One out and no one on, and a payoff pitch to Chris Winkle. That one catches the outside corner. No, it doesn't. Beg your pardon. And Winkle will trot down to first. It just missed.
Just the second walk of the day given up by Crosby. Guess who got the first one? Aaron Hill, and he's coming to the plate now. Another left-hander warming up in the pen for Memphis. That's Blake Bennett. We saw him up earlier. I think it was 2 innings ago. So he stayed warm. I'm taking a look at the rest of the left-handers on their lineup. You know, why throw anything but a southpaw against UConn the rest of the game?
Hill walked his last time. 0 for 1 at the plate. 1 out and a runner on first now, and it's now 1-0 the count from Crosby. They're holding Winkle over at first. Schreitenthal playing even with the bag over at third. Crosby misses outside, and the count now 2-0. Well, he just missed with that payoff pitch to Winkle. Get worried that maybe he might get a little frustrated with that one. That one just missed before, and that's where we stand right now, 2-0. And this one's fouled back, 2-1.
How impressive is it in his third appearance in this tournament that going into this start, Crosby has given up, he's faced just 4 over the minimum so far. He's given up 3 hits, a couple of walks, trying to get himself out of this inning here with only 1 out.
That one misses in. Santana with a nice play to backhand that one. And now Crosby behind in the count, 3-1.
Just kind of broke him down. He was on the outside part of the plate, and he tries to backhand it. Lucky he got a piece of it. Otherwise, there's a runner in scoring position on second.
Let's give some credit to Santana, too, today. Crosby's thrown a few in the dirt, and Santana's dug him out. 3-1 to Aaron Hill, and Crosby will check Winkle over at first. Aaron Hill, the senior from Groton, Connecticut, Fitch High School graduate, 5'9", 190. Crosby again checking the runner. Winner goes on to tomorrow to play Houston. 3-1 from Crosby. Misses ball 4. 2 straight walks for Drew Crosby. And UConn has first and second and 1 out.
Now the Huskies will bring the tying run to the plate. Aaron Hill goes down to first. Winkle on second, and here's Keith Kruger.
That's 2 of Crosby's 3 walks on the day in the last 2 hitters. And now that the Huskies have something cooking, they're down 3 runs. Kruger grounded into a fielder's choice in the 3rd. And a sacrifice ground out in the 5th. And the Tigers have some action in the bullpen again. Hunter Smith is up there warming up, the sophomore lefty. But they're going to see what they can get out of Drew Crosby here in a lefty versus lefty matchup. Kruger shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes strike 1.
Like you said, he's already dropped 1 today, had a sacrifice in his last at bat. I don't know when you say there's Bennett showing that he's warm. Actually, that's Hunter Smith.
The 0-1, fisted foul, 0-2. Crosby ahead in the count now.
I was trying to say, when is it too early in a game like this where potentially your season could be over to maybe pinch hit for somebody? You know, I mean, you've got guys on the bench like Moriarty, who's got 21 RBIs on the year, 9 doubles. I mean, gotten some production from the bottom of the order, but Kruger, your center fielder, you don't want to take him out of play. Maybe somebody at the top like Topa, who's 0 for 3, corner outfielder. Maybe you try and put somebody up there that can try and drive the ball in the right direction.
Crosby checks the runner over at second.
Still staring down Winkle. Just letting him know, hey, I had you.
Crosby at 108 pitches so far in this game. Pitch number 109 is an 0-2 delivery. Fisted left side, and it's going to fall in for a hit, a bloop single. Winkle comes around third, and he will score. And it's now 5-3 Memphis.
Love the aggressive call by Jim Penders. Something into shallow left field. We'd already seen a nice flash of the leather by Carlos Williams and a throw to a cut man earlier in the game. He sends him around anyway. Desperation will do things like that. And it's a 2-run ball game now. I mean, this is literally 10 feet back of third base on the outfield grass, and he sent him anyway.
And out comes Darren Schoenrock to the hill to go get Crosby, with runners on first and second and 1 out. And the top of the order for UConn coming up with John Topa after an RBI hit by Kruger in the 9 spot.
Crosby deserves a lot of things, the least of which is a standing ovation from the crowd today. What an incredible performance by the junior.
So we'll take a look at the new pitcher for Memphis in just a moment. 5-3 Tigers over the Huskies here in this elimination game in Clearwater. We're back in a flash.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is Yukon.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
New pitcher in the ball game for Memphis is number 20, Hunter Smith, a sophomore lefty from Brandon, Mississippi. Went to Northwest Rankin High School, 6'1", 196. This year, Hunter 1-0 with a 5.61 earned run average, and this is appearance number 18 on the year for him.
All of those have been in relief. 25 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 35 hits, only 19 runs, 16 were earned, 20 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .330 against him, but he's a left-hander, and that's what's been so effective against the Huskies today in this tournament.
Top of the order coming up for UConn. It's first and second and one out, and the first pitch to John Topa goes to the backstop, and the runners will advance. It's now second and third with one out.
Third wild pitch of the year for Hunter Smith. Inopportune time for it, coming in and not hitting his spot with the first offering.
Smith faced UConn once this year in relief. That was back on April the 7th. A 6-2 UConn victory. He threw 3 1/3, gave up 2 runs, both of them earned on 3 hits, walked 2 and struck out 2. Topa facing a 1-0 after the wild one, and that was in there for a strike, and the count all even at 1-1. There's Drew Crosby. Left the game after an outstanding performance, got a standing ovation, and his teammates came over and showed their appreciation for him too. He is responsible for the two runners on base right now, though, as Topa swings and misses. There's a look at Crosby as he left the game. You can tell how disappointed he was leaving those 2 guys on, but boy, did he do his job for the Tigers today. Great performance by the lefty right when they needed him. Santana blocks that one, and it's 2-2.
6 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. Had a trio of strikeouts. Couple of late walks may have doomed him just a bit. But again, gave everything he had. And leaves with his team still in good position. Got to pick up a couple of outs here with Smith on the hill now.
Smith, the lefty, firing a 2-2. Topa hits this one over to right. Carrier underneath it, makes the catch. Runner tagging from third. Here's the throw. It is not in time as Aaron Hill comes in to score, and it's now 5-4. UConn is now within 1.
The sac fly RBI from Topa goes the opposite field with it. Drove it a long way. You saw the low positioning of it. And Carrier had to be running to his left, not really in position to make a laser throw home, and Hill will score to cut it to 1. 2 runs in the inning now for the Huskies here in the top of the 7th.
And Kruger stands on third with 2 out. It's now a 5-4 game.
Both walks issued in the inning by Crosby have come home to roost.
Prado is 1 for 3 today. He's doubled back in the 4th. And he takes a first pitch strike from Smith. Anthony Prado, the shortstop, with 2 out this year, hitting only .217. Belies his .300 overall average. The 0-1. Fisted down the right field line and out of play. Memphis has 2, 3, and 4 due up in the next half an inning. But UConn has punched 2 across here in the top of the 7th to get within 1 run in this elimination game. Kruger at third, and the 0-2 outside. Wasted that one, and it's now 1-2. Hunter Smith, the sophomore lefty, deals out of the stretch, and this one's grounded left side and through the hole for a base hit. Kruger comes in to score, and it's a game-tying RBI single for Anthony Prado, and we're all tied at 5 apiece.
The true freshman Prado comes through here in the 7th inning. His team's now scored 3 runs to equalize the ball game. Got a pitch to hit a little bit low. Shows a nice stroke there, and he picks up his 2nd hit of the ball game and 1st run driven in.
Willie Yon now will step to the plate with 2 out and a runner on first, so that closes the book on Crosby. Gave up 5 runs, 4 of them earned on 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 3 in 6 1/3. Kind of an unfortunate way to end it, though, for Drew, because he really did pitch a good ball game for Memphis right when they needed it. But now we're all tied here in the top of the 7th. Yon facing an 0-1 count after he fouls the first offering off. Yon doubled in a run in the 4th. But how about these UConn Huskies trailing 5-2 coming into this frame? They've pushed across 3 to tie the game. The 0-1 from Smith, foul back. Both teams are in the bullpens now in this ball game. Oh, 2 to Yon. Reaches for that one. It's back to Turner, and he steps on first to conclude the inning. But the UConn Huskies fight back with 3 runs in the top of the 7th. We're all tied up at 5 apiece in this elimination game between Memphis and UConn here at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
Back here in Clearwater, we go to the bottom of the 7th. We're done stretching. 5-5 your score in this elimination game between UConn and Memphis. Jeff Sharon, Garrett Woolford here with you. So glad you could join us to start your Memorial Day weekend on this gorgeous Friday afternoon. Memphis was up 5-2, but UConn pushed 3 across in the top of the 7th. But Brandon Grudzelanek will step in. He tripled his last time. Here you see William Montgomery, who started the game for UConn. Gave up the 5 runs and has given way to John Russell.
Montgomery will end up with 2 no decisions on the year against Memphis.
Russell, the junior from Glastonbury, Connecticut. Went to UConn Avery Point, then transferred over to Storrs. Big kid, 6'3", 182. And he fools Grudzielanek on that one. It's 1-2.
Russell with 14 saves in 18 opportunities. He's appeared in 21 games. First appearance here in the tournament.
And Grudzielanek waves and misses at that one. They'll throw over to first to complete the strikeout. And that is 2 batters faced and 2 strikeouts for John Russell. 1 down and no one on, and here comes Chris Carrier.
This will be power on power. You take a look at the great numbers on the year by Russell. He's the all-time single-season saves leader with 14 on the year, and here's Carrier, one of the premier home run hitters in Memphis history.
Carrier's up to .332 on the year. He's slugging .644, 1 for 3 today with a single and a pair of strikeouts. Swings at the first offering and fouls it down the left field line. UConn took a 2-0 lead in the 4th. Memphis fought back with 3 in the bottom of the 5th. 2 more in the bottom of the 6th, and then UConn tied it up in the top of the 7th. With 3 in the previous half a frame. The 0-1. This is low to Carrier, and the count now 1-1. And Carrier lightly taps that one and caught on the soft liner by the first baseman Winkle. 2 down.
It'll be up to Trent Turner to break this little streak that Russell's on. He's set down 3 in a row. Kind of an inside-out swing by Carrier. Easy pickup by Winkle.
Turner is the only Memphis Tiger not to record a hit today. He's 0 for 3. Everyone else in the Memphis lineup has exactly 1 hit. Trent's had a good tournament so far, 5 for 9 coming into today. He pops this one up behind the plate.
Lefebvre lost it in the sun.
Yeah, couldn't see it, and it falls foul. Well, we don't have a cloud in the sky today in Clearwater. Bright sun. It's dry and hot today, 85 degrees, and it's also 1:23 Eastern in the afternoon. And there you see Lefebvre. He just can't see it.
Too long of a run for Russell to catch up with it.
That gives you an indication of what Lefebvre was contending with. But it's 0-2 to Turner with 2 out and the bases empty. Russell misses outside, and it's 1-2.
91 miles an hour there by Russell. Lost control at the end of it.
And that one gets away, and now the count now 2-2.
Russell with incredible strikeout numbers and that high velocity. At the same time, there's responsibility that comes with that. He's given up the 2nd most home runs on the team with 5 this year. Only Tim Cate, who's logged twice as many innings, has given up more.
And Turner swings and misses at that one. Good off-speed delivery by Russell, and that ends the inning. He's got 3 strikeouts on the day so far, and Memphis goes down 1-2-3 in the 7th. We are tied at 5, heading to the 8th between UConn and Memphis here in this elimination game in Clearwater.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
Not much action over at Frenchie's. Everyone's busy keeping an eye on this ball game. We're tied at 5, heading into the top of the 8th between Memphis and UConn, with their seasons on the line in this elimination game here in Clearwater. Jeff Sharon, Garrett Woolford with you here on this beautiful, bright, sunny day. And the third Memphis pitcher of the day, another lefty out there to start the 8th. It's Taylor Bobo, a 5'7", 160-pound junior from Olive Branch, Mississippi, transfer from Northeast Mississippi Community College.
Taylor Bobo, the shortest player listed on a roster at 5'7". Good build, though. Stocky, muscular. We'll see how effective he can be here today. 0-1 on the year, 15 appearances, all of them in relief. So he'll head out to the hill, and UConn will head to the plate.
And so far in this ballgame, Garrett, as we've seen, Memphis or UConn jumped out. Memphis came back. Once again, this is sort of a miniature version of what Memphis' game was against Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
But so far, Memphis has been hanging around with UConn thanks to their left-handed pitching.
Absolutely. The left-handed pitching's been dominant today. That's finally broken through after some walks came. But you take a look at leads have been not safe in this tournament. We've seen lots of lead changes. The one thing we haven't seen in this game that we saw in previous was home runs. And the win, not as much of a factor in today's game. You obviously saw a ball lost in the sun in our last inning.
First pitch by Bobo to Isaac Feldstein. Misses ball 1. Again, we're tied at 5 here in the top of the 8th. Winner goes on to tomorrow to play Houston. Loser goes home in this elimination matchup. And this is laced into left field for a base hit. Feldstein is on with a leadoff single. And UConn's trying to cook something up here in this tied ball game here in the 8th.
Take a look at what the junior has up his sleeve. Feldstein pulls this one to the left side. He'll get it into shallow left field. And a throw comes in quickly enough to keep him at first. Feldstein entered the tournament hitting .315 in his last 15 games. So ended the regular season on a hot streak.
Alex Lefebvre now steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. Struck out twice, reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Lefebvre hitting .250 on the year, but .407 with runners on. The 1-0 from Bobo, no, he'll go check the runner over at first. Feldstein not really a moderate threat to steal. He's got 3 stolen bases, 3 for 3 on the year. Mentioned Taylor Bobo, the third lefty of the game out there for Memphis. He's 0-1 on the year with a 4.67, making appearance number 16.
He's a junior college transfer, came in from Northeast Mississippi JC, and he has limited appearances in American play this year. He's faced UCF, twice faced Tulane. This is his first appearance ever against the Memphis Tigers here in the conference tournament. Only has 1 decision on the year. That was against Arkansas when he picked up an L in relief.
Behind in the count, 2-0, but he gets Lefebvre to wave at that one, 2-1. Santana saying attaboy right there with that pitch. Feldstein at first, nobody out. And it looks like we have action in the Memphis bullpen once again.
Dakota Matoxin, who we saw warming in the first game against the Houston Cougars. Matoxin, number 36, getting warm.
2-1 from Bobo. And a bunt shown. It's a good one, but right back to Bobo. He throws over to first in time. But Lefebvre sacrifices the runner over to second with 1 out now.
Nice job there by Lefebvre. Picks up the sacrifice. And a bullet from Bobo over to first base. Shows nice form.
Good job getting over there at a field as well. So now Troy Stefanski, the right fielder, will step to the plate. He's 0 for 3 on the day, but a chance to give UConn the lead with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. First delivery from Bobo's in there for a strike. Zach Schreitenthal is playing even with the bag over at third.
Stefanski, 0 for 3 today, only has 6 RBIs on the year.
And he takes that one up and in. Stefanski also not very productive with runners in scoring position this season, just 111. But a big spot for him here with Feldstein at second in a tie ball game here in the top of the 8th inning. A reminder, coming up next, UCF and USF in another elimination game here in Clearwater. The 2-1 from Bobo. Good curveball in there for a strike, and the count now 2-2.
Watch the way that ball breaks.
Whew. Boy, that's tough to deal with when you're a lefty facing another lefty.
You're busy looking away, expecting to get hit, and it's called strike 2.
And this one is popped up on the infield. Grudzielanek calls for it. 2 down.
Strong play there by Grudzielanek, the senior, because Bobo and Trella both lost it in the sun. Those guys immediately shaded off of it, and Grudzielanek was able to finish it off.
So with 2 out now, Chris Winkle will step to the plate. Winkle singled in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th, walked and scored in the 7th. He stands in with a runner on second and 2 out. And Bobo and Santana will reset. Looks like Santana is going to deliver some signs out to his fielders. Or maybe not. Nope. Five, 6, and 2 for UConn. 5, 8, and 2 for Memphis. And the count now 1-0.
Winkle along with Prado, one of 2 freshmen starting in this elimination game today. Love to see the respect shown to freshmen, a chance to earn your spot. Help your team come through at the end of the year when it's most important.
The 1-0. Hit deep towards center. Heading back for it is Webb. That's big trouble. It is over his head and off the wall. Feldstein comes in to score. Winkle motoring around second. He will slide into third with a go-ahead RBI triple. And the UConn Huskies have retaken the lead 6-5.
Huskies' first lead since the 4th inning. It's his team leading 4th triple of the year. That ball kept carrying. Really tough for Webb to get a beat on it. Just a little bit short. He'll motor around second as the run comes home to score.
And now Aaron Hill steps to the plate with a chance to give UConn an insurance run. The Huskies have come back from down 5-2 heading into the top of the 7th. And they now lead 6-5 in this elimination game.
5-2 sounds familiar. That was the exact score against Houston that Memphis led.
And they gave up 4 runs in that, or their bullpen gave up 4 runs in that ball game. They lost 6-5 to the Cougars, and that put them in the losers bracket. Aaron Hill takes a strike on the first pitch from Bobo. Hill has walked twice, officially 0 for 1 with a flyout. And he fouls this one back quickly, 0-2. Hill hit his 2nd home run of the year last season in the 3rd game of the tournament against Memphis. Gave UConn an insurance run.
Just 2 extra base hits in this ball game for UConn. The double by Yon in the fourth, and now the triple by Winkle. They've kind of come at a premium.
Webb shading over toward right. The 0-2 to Hill is low and in, and it's now 1-2. Five, 6, and 7 due up for Memphis in the bottom of the eighth. That's Trella, Schreitenthal, and Neal. One, two, misses low. UConn in this ballgame so far 4 for 15 with runners on, 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Memphis 5 of 11 with runners on. But they've only had 6 opportunities with runners in scoring position, 3 for 6. 2-2 to Aaron Hill. Reaches for that one and fouls it back.
Taylor Bobo 70 miles an hour on that last offering, and Hill can only flare the bat out there and hang tough.
With 2 out, Hill is only hitting 136 this year. And he's only knocked in 3 runs for 2017. And that one just misses. The count runs full.
Tiger fans wondering where that pitch was from their vantage point.
Runner on third is Winkle. The 3-2. Misses, ball 4, and Aaron Hill has a 2-out walk. Runners on the corners now and 2 out.
Three walks in the last 2 innings have kind of undone Memphis, and now the base runners continue to mount for Connecticut. Taylor Bobo, the junior, has runners on the corners, does have 2 outs. Needs to focus on Keith Kruger, the 9-hole hitter.
Kruger singled in a run his last time back in the 7th. Another base hit would knock in another one here at least. Good curveball by Bobo for strike 1. Kruger 156 this year with 2 out. There you see that curveball from Bobo catching the corner.
You've got the right-hander Metoxen ready to go in the pen. Maybe play the percentages.
That one's up high. They're going to throw down. And Bobo
gosh.
actually interrupted the throw down to second as Hill was stealing second. And the run comes in to score from third. It's now 7-5.
So after tripling, Chris Winkle comes in on the throwdown that's interrupted by Bobo's mitt.
Well, that's a tough break for the Tigers as Santana, not sure if he would have had a shot to get Hill at second, but take a look at it again. Right off of Bobo's glove, and the double steal was on, so Winkle comes in to score.
20th time that Winkle has plated this season. An unfortunate turn of events for the Tiger fans.
This will give us another good look at it.
I don't know if they were just not of the same mind, not on the same page. Maybe he kept that ball so low because he expected him to make the catch and make a snap throw back home.
Trella looked also like he might have been a little bit late coming over from short. The double steal was certainly on, so officially it's a stolen base for Hill. Winkle steals home, and it's now 7-5 here in the top of the 8th. And the Huskies have scored 5 unanswered after trailing 5-2. The 2-1 to Kruger. Swung on and missed, and it's now 2-2.
Just 3 strikeouts in the ballgame. All of them belong to the starter, Drew Crosby.
And Kruger fouls back that 2-2 delivery.
John Russell has become your pitcher of record for the Huskies. He could pick up the win.
And Memphis trying to stop the bleeding here. They have 6 outs left to go at the plate. But with Aaron Hill over at second, you got to take care of Kruger here with 2 out. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that ends the inning. But the Huskies take the lead once again in the top of the 8th. They push across a pair. It's now 7-5 UConn in this elimination game. This is the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
Back here in Clearwater, UConn with a 7-5 lead over Memphis as we head to the bottom of the 8th. The Huskies have pounded across 5 runs in the last 2 frames to come back from down 5-2. And there you see former University of Texas and Houston head basketball coach Tom Penders, the uncle of Jim Penders, no doubt enjoying what he is seeing in the stands here in Clearwater.
Jim's father and Tom played on the UConn World Series team in the 1960s. Tom, of course, was a star on the basketball squad and a Hall of Famer for the Huskies. He's actually come up in the booth and interviewed with us in years past. Great interview, of course. Very TV savvy.
John Russell works for UConn on the hill. He will face 5, 6, and 7 in the Memphis order. Alec Trella, the shortstop, leads off for the Tigers. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd, tripled in the 4th, struck out his last time in the 6th. And he takes a strike there behind 1 and 2. Russell has thrown an inning and a 3rd, struck out 3 of the 4 hitters he's faced. And he wastes that one, 2 and 2. He's been out sitting on the bench for quite a while, though, at this point, Garrett.
9 times this year, he's thrown 2 or more innings of relief.
And he fools Alec Trella on that one. Down goes Trella. That's 4 strikeouts in 5 hitters for John Russell, 1 away.
He's nearly been unhittable here. Hides this one and just falls off the table against Trella. That'll bring up Schreitenthal, who's been on base twice today.
Well, we thought if it would get to the bullpen that UConn would have the advantage, considering how Memphis has struggled with their bullpen and how good UConn's bullpen has been. So far, that's played out exactly like we thought. Schreitenthal facing an 0-1. Got a hit and scored his last time back in the 6th. A reminder, UCF and USF coming up next here on the American Digital Network. Jeff Brightwell will be back in the booth to join you, Garrett, for that one. Should be a good one between those 2 squads.
Cannot wait to call, and interested to see who USF's going to pitch. They've had some injuries with some of their starters.
Schreitenthal grounds this one to Hill over at second. Gobbled him up a little bit, but made the throw in time. 2 down.
Central Florida, of course, still with some quality arms. Both teams, a lot of talent on offense. Interested to see how that one all plays out. Russell has this one right over the heart of the plate. Schreitenthal, though, can only hit it right at the second baseman, Hill. If you're Connecticut, you're thinking about the numbers for John Russell right now. He's only at 25 pitches. He's going to basically try and take you through the end of the game.
Colton Neal shows a bunt, pulls it back for strike 1.
You'd like to have him available tomorrow as well, so if he can be as efficient as possible, I would not see him doing anything but closing out this game, because Jim Penders, the last thing he's going to do is disrespect an opponent by taking out Russell and putting in another guy.
And Neal grounds this one over to short. Prado fires in time. 1, 2, 3 goes Memphis quietly in the bottom of the 8th. Your score remains UConn 7 and Memphis 5 in this elimination game. This is the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship here in Clearwater on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
We go to the 9th in Clearwater with UConn leading Memphis 7-5. Jeff Sharon and Garrett Woolvard with you here on this Friday before Memorial Day, an elimination game. Winner goes on to play Houston tomorrow. Loser goes home. Taylor Bobo enters inning number 2 of work here against the Huskies and faces the top of the order with John Topa stepping to the plate.
2 runs came to score against him. He gave up 2 hits and a walk in his last frame.
And Topa quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. The UConn left fielder is 0 for 3 today, but had a sacrifice fly and RBI back in the 7th.
Bobo got his 15th strikeout of the year in relief to end the last inning. That's in 18 innings pitched on the year.
He's the 3rd lefty of the game out there for the Tigers. As Coach Darren Schoenrock has just said, look, I'm going to throw as many lefties as I can out there against this UConn lineup. 3-1. Topa fouls it off, and that fills up the count at 3-2.
Topa starts a string of 5 right-handed batters in a row. So unless Jim Penders was going to sub a guy in, you might see Bobo for a bit.
Payoff pitch, fouled away again.
Tiger fan out there in right field.
This Memphis team, in 2 of the 3 games in the regular season against UConn, as Bobo delivers the payoff pitch, it's grounded over to short. Fielding and firing is Trello, 1 down. But in the 3-game sweep that UConn had in the regular season in Stores against Memphis, the Tigers had leads in 2 of those games.
Make it 3.
And I'll make it 3, exactly. Although they still have 3 outs to play with here. Going to have to take care of 2 and 3 left in the order for UConn. Here's Anthony Prado with 1 out. Good curveball by Bobo. And the count 0-1. So if you're Jim Penders, I'm thinking, Garrett, you're going to keep Russell out there for the 9th, right? This is grounded over to Schreitenthal. Backhands, bobbles, fires in time. Another nice play by Zach Schreitenthal over at 3rd, 2 down.
You'd like to have him as fresh as possible for Saturday's semifinals, where the Huskies would have to win twice. But, yeah, you got to respect your opponent.
Willie Yan will step to the plate now. Here's another look at the play by Schreitenthal. Good job sticking with it.
Got him by about half a step. He's chugging down there. Ball in his glove just in time.
Good stretch by Turner over at 1st, too. Yan doubled in a run in the 4th. And he lines this one over toward left. It's going to fall in down the line for a hit. Jan's rounding 1st. He's going to chug towards 2nd and slide in safely with a 2-out double.
Second double of the ball game for Willie Yon. Remember, he had that grand slam earlier in the tournament, and he is highlighting his way to the all-tournament team, one at-bat at a time. Really nice piece of hitting here. Drops this one, and he's aggressive around first base. Knows that that one's going to take a long way to roll. Now standing on second. Get your jersey dirty.
Yon with his 5th hit of the tournament so far. And that brings up Isaac Feldstein with 2 out. And here comes Darren Schoenrock out to the mound. Ostensibly to go get Taylor Bobo. After 1 2/3 innings, he's still responsible for the runner on second. He's given up 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits. Walked 1 and struck out 1. And we will have a new Memphis pitcher coming into the ballgame to try and finish off UConn here with a runner on second and 2 out in the top of the 9th. We'll take a quick break and have a look at the new Memphis pitcher when we return. This is the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
New pitcher in the ballgame for Memphis, trailing 7-5. It's Dakota Metoxen. He's a 5'11", 212-pound freshman righty from Franklin High School in Franklin, Wisconsin.
Metoxen, 5'11", 1-0 on the year with a ERA above 7. He's made 14 appearances, 16 innings pitched, 11 hits, 17 runs, 13 were earned. He struck out 13 opponents. Pretty good batting average against, so he's going to have to come in here as a true freshman with Willie Yon on second base behind him. Try and get one more out.
And he will face Isaac Feldstein, the DH for UConn, who singled his last time. Metoxen, an American Indian of the Oneida tribe out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's the first righty of the game for Memphis after 3 lefties so far. Righty-righty matchup with 2 out, and Metoxen's first delivery is laced into right field for a hit. Yon's going to round third. Here comes the throw from Carrier in right, and the collision at the plate. He's out. Jason Santana applies the tag. Santana and Yon both look to be shaken up, but that ends the inning. And the Tigers keep a run off the board. Last chance for Memphis in this elimination game. They trail UConn 7-5 here in Clearwater as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Here at the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
We go to the bottom of the ninth. Last ups for Memphis in this elimination game, trailing 7-5 to the Yukon Huskies. Winner goes on to play Houston tomorrow. Let's take a look at that replay again here, Garrett Wolverd. As what's the letter of the rule on this plate collision between Willie Yon and Jason Santana?
Well, when this situation comes, the catcher's not allowed to block the plate, but he, with the throw coming in from Carrier, is allowed to go in line with the ball. So if the throw takes him in front of the plate, it's legal. Yon shook up a little bit, and he was limping on the way to the plate. But that saved a run. The throw comes in from the outfield and keeps it a 2-run ball game. All legal.
And there's Willie Yon, looks to be okay. Santana looks to be okay as well. So it will be 8-9-1 for the Memphis Tigers here with their last chance here in the bottom of the ninth so far. But Yukon, this bullpen has done the job where Memphis's has not. Any chance here for Memphis in the bottom of the ninth, you think?
Oh, I think so. We've seen leads are not necessarily safe in this tournament, and we talked about the velocity of John Russell. He can throw it in the low to mid-90s, but he's also given up 5 home runs on the year. That's second on the team. I think what you want to look at here is the backbone that we've seen of Memphis throughout this whole tournament. The last couple of years, they've won 2 games or more every single season. They're one of the winningest teams in this tournament. Today, just put the bat on the ball. Don't let the top of the ninth, bottom of the ninth fool you here. Just go up there and focus on your at-bat.
Well, Memphis's last game 48 hours ago, that 15-14 10-inning thriller against Cincinnati, they came into the bottom of the ninth down 3 and tied it up, and then won it in the 10th. Carlos Williams will lead it off for the Tigers here against John Russell, who's thrown 2 1/3 innings of perfect ball. Struck out 4 of the 7 hitters he has faced. Williams singled and scored his last time. He's 1 for 2.
If Russell were to close out the ball game, it'd be his longest relief outing of the year. He went 3 against UMass.
And Williams lines this one into left field for a leadoff single. And the Memphis Tigers are not done yet. Leadoff man on here in the bottom of the ninth, down 2. And we're going to have a pinch hitter coming to the plate for the Tigers. It's Andy Bowman. The DH the other day against Cincinnati. Bowman comes in hitting .258 on the year. He replaces Jason Santana. Wonder if that had to do with the collision. So Santana's day is done. He finished with a hit and an RBI his last time up. And Bowman takes a ball on the first pitch from Russell. And boy, the stamina issue now is starting to rear its ugly head for John Russell. That's the first Memphis Tiger to reach base against him. Bowman batting in the 9th spot is now ahead in the count 2-0.
Bowman was the DH in the game against Houston, went 1 for 1, and was walked twice.
These cardiac Tigers trying to stay alive here in this elimination game. Winner moves on to tomorrow to play Houston right here on the American Digital Network. And now it's 3-0 to Andy Bowman. And don't forget, coming up next, the USF Bulls and the UCF Knights in another elimination game on the other side of the bracket. Following the conclusion of this one, Jeff Brightwell and Garrett Wolverd will have the call for that one. 2-1 the count to Andy Bowman, and he fouls that one off. It's 2-2.
Call me sentimental. These are my favorite moments in college baseball games when late in a game you might bring in a senior, somebody with a lot of experience. You bring in a senior here in Bowman, one of 7 upperclassmen, possibly playing in their final game. Bowman got the start already, some experience in this tournament, and there's a big hole for him to pull something through on the right side.
6'3", 220 from Arlington, Tennessee, and he takes that one on the outside corner. Full count to Andy Bowman with 1 out. Williams, very good speed over at first.
The assistant coach Reeves arguing with the home plate umpire on the call.
And now the home plate umpire telling Coach Reeves that he has heard quite enough. That's Scott Graham, our home plate umpire, and now out comes Darren Schoenrock to talk over the situation with Scott Graham.
Still talking about it. I misspoke. That's Coach Green down on the third base side, Clay Green.
Satisfactory explanation, and now we'll come back to this payoff pitch. Emotions running high in this elimination game. Runner on first, nobody out. Payoff pitch to Andy Bowman from John Russell. Strike three looking. Andy Bowman goes down on strikes, one down. Big strikeout for Russell there.
12 strikeouts in the ballgame now for the UConn pitching staff, and an emphatic ring up by the home plate umpire. That one just caught the bottom of the zone. A legitimate call. You got to protect at the plate.
That doesn't make anything any easier for Russell, though. As we go back to the top of the order. And another pinch hitter for Memphis, Nick Vogie, now steps in for Tyler Webb. Vogie 151 on the year, takes a ball.
Russell, in 2+ innings of relief, has struck out 5 of the 9 batters he's faced.
Vogie only 3 RBI on the year, 1 home run. He is now even on the count at 1-1. So 1 out and Williams over at first. Vogie does represent the tying run here in the bottom of the ninth. 7-9-2 for UConn, 5-9-2 for Memphis. 1-1. Left side through the hole, base hit. Williams will stop at second. The tying run is on base for the Tigers, with Brandon Grudzielanek coming up next.
Very balanced at bat there by Vogie. He was a pinch hitter in the earlier game against Houston. Sends one through the left side here in the ninth with an out.
Does exactly what you're supposed to do as a pinch hitter. And now the meat of the lineup is coming up for Memphis here. That's the 10th hit of the game for the Tigers. And Brandon Grudzielanek, another senior, steps in. Had an RBI triple and scored back in the 5th.
Only 2 extra base hits in the ballgame, both of them triples. One by Grudzielanek, the other by Trela.
How about these Memphis Tigers? They just refuse to die, especially when they're in this loser's bracket. Now we're going to have a pinch runner coming in the game for the Tigers. And that is Sam Nazika, the backup catcher, who came in a pinch running situation in the Cincinnati game. And you think that if this game does extend, he will go back behind the plate for Memphis once again.
Zonica scored a run as a pinch runner against Cincinnati.
But the game right now with 1 out in the hands of Brandon Grudzielanek, facing John Russell, who's scuffling a bit in his 3rd frame of action. He's got 1st and 2nd and 1 out. First delivery misses inside to Grudzielanek, ball 1.
When trailing after 7 innings, Memphis had rallied just 3 times before coming to Clearwater. They rallied to do it against Cincinnati. It took them extra innings. Can they do it one more time?
Grudzielanek stares at the 1-0. It's now 1-1. Brandon does have a home run in this tournament. That came in the Tigers' first game against Houston. Tripled earlier in the game and scored on a wild pitch. The 1-1 from Russell. Left side, it could be a double play chance. Jan tags it at third, over to first, not in time. So now it's first and second and 2 out.
That would have been an incredible way to end the ball game. Turn a double play. That
is a heads-up play by Jan, stepping over at third. He's got a strong arm, but this was a tough play no matter what.
Throwing across his body, pulls him off the bag just a bit. Still a runner in scoring position. The tying run at first.
And now Chris Carrier steps to the plate. Top hitter for the Tigers. He's been so good in this tournament so far. The senior trying to extend his career. Down 2. In this ball game, he has singled and struck out twice, 1 for 4. His team trailing by 2. Swings and misses at the first one. Remember, we saw Carrier hit has hit 2 home runs in this tournament so far.
Russell keeps it low and outside to the big right-hander.
Boy, wouldn't a big fly be something for Chris Carrier here? It would end it. Tying run is at first in the person of Grudzielanek. Nazika at second. That one's in the dirt, low and away.
Carrier not very effective against William Montgomery earlier in the game. Couple of strikeouts. He got on board with that single in the 5th and kind of lined out opposite field to the first baseman in his last at bat. They've seen the tape. They're not going to leave anything out over the plate to him.
Well, if you're Memphis, couldn't want it any other way. Best hitter at the plate with your season on the line. 1-1 the count. And Carrier will step out.
Now, we haven't talked much about the heat today. We came to the ballpark and it was 90. Here it is 87, not a cloud in the sky.
1-1. And he swings and misses at that one. Good delivery, low and in. And the Tigers are down to their final strike.
84 miles an hour by Russell. Crafty pitch. And it looks like Carrier was committed on that pitch no matter what it was. Got to guess correctly here because Russell can really burn you with a fastball.
Should Carrier reach, Trent Turner is on deck. 2 out, 2 on. And a 1-2 delivery coming from John Russell to Chris Carrier. In the dirt. And that evens the count at 2-2. A reminder, coming up next, UCF and USF right here from Clearwater on the American Digital Network in another elimination game. Russell staring in. He's got a 2-2 against Carrier. They're setting up inside on him. In the dirt, 3-2. Runners are going to go.
In 36 innings pitched on the year, Russell has given up 18 walks.
Here you see Trent Turner. He would be next if Carrier extends the game.
Runners will be in motion.
You got Nazika over at second and Grudzielanek at first. Very good speed for the Tigers, and Grudzielanek represents the tying run. So here we go. Payoff pitch with 2 out. And Russell will look Nazika back.
One thing you don't want to do is get frozen with that bat on your shoulder.
Carrier had the RBI single against Cincinnati that tied it up in the Tigers' previous game. Runners go. It's in the dirt. Ball 4. Bases loaded. And Trent Turner's coming to the plate. Tried to get him a chase again. Garrett.
Turner, red hot yesterday, the day before against Cincinnati. 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs.
Came into today 5 for 9 with a homer, a double, and 3 RBI in the tournament. So far today, though, he has failed to reach base. 0 for 4, struck out twice, including his last time in the 7th. The senior trying to extend his career. Very good speed on the base paths for Memphis. And he takes a ball. Boy, Russell has really been scuffling out there in this inning. Opponents are hitting 150 against him with runners on. With the bases loaded, Turner hitting 250 this year. And Turner stares at that one, 2-0.
82 miles an hour on the breaking ball. Not quite as sharp as Russell and his coaches would have liked. Outside part of the plate, and not good enough for the home plate umpire.
And this is grounded up the middle and over to short. They get the force at second, and that ends the ball game. The UConn Huskies come back from down 5-2 and move on to Saturday. They knock out the Memphis Tigers by a final score of 7-5. 7-9-2 for UConn, 5-10-2 for Memphis. And Garrett Wilbur, the UConn Huskies, will get another shot at the Houston Cougars tomorrow.
Cannot wait for those ball games here at Spectrum Field. Russell works 3 1/3 season-high innings of relief and comes away with his 3rd victory of the year.
Prado takes care of business to Hill up the middle to end it. And the UConn Huskies and Jim Penders make it to semifinal Saturday once again with a 7-5 victory over Memphis. Stick around. We'll have final interviews and final stats and totals for you here from Clearwater in just a moment. This is the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Seven to 5, your final score in this elimination game. UConn defeats Memphis, and they move on to play Houston tomorrow. A rematch of that 7-6 game that they had yesterday. Jim Penders and company. This is what they do in the American Athletic Conference baseball tournament. They just continue to move on while Memphis' season comes to a conclusion. Garrett Wolford, what a ball game. But again, it was a battle of the bullpens, and UConn's did the job. At least they did until almost the final inning. But Memphis couldn't come up with the outs that they needed, UConn comes back to win after being down 3.
I was impressed by Drew Crosby, who's made a lot of starts this year for the Tigers, making his 3rd appearance. He'd done 2 reliefs, now the start. 6 1/3 innings, and he leaves the game up 5-2. The Memphis bullpen, though, allows 3 runs in the 7th, 2 more in the 8th. John Russell's also able to close it out and get the victory for the Huskies.
What do you think we're going to see from UConn against Houston? What a ball game that was yesterday between these two squads, and you guys get to get another 9 innings out of them tomorrow.
Well, I guarantee that we're going to see the American Rookie of the Year in Fioli, and he is just lights out, 7-3 on the year, very low ERA. The fact that you have so much pitching that you're able to save the Rookie of the Year for a semifinal matchup, I think that's going to give Houston fits. Should be very competitive.
So UConn advances to 33-24 on the season. And for Memphis, the season concludes. They finish 30-29 on the year. They gave us some pretty good memories in this tournament so far, including the highest scoring game in American Athletic Conference tournament history 48 hours ago against Cincinnati. And credit to this Memphis team that they never stop fighting right down to the end.
Not to be too sentimental, but I'm glad Memphis is part of the program. Since they came in 2014 in the American, they have provided those moments that have gotten us out of our seat, that have made us yell at the top of our lungs. It's great to see how their baseball program has grown since coming into the American. You remember Carrier in 14, the home run derby champion. They've been able to win 2 games or more all of the 3 last seasons. Pretty impressive.
All right, let's go down to field level and Kyle Coulter with Jim Penders. Kyle?
All right, thank you, guys. I'm here with UConn head coach Jim Penders. And, Coach, we knew this was going to be a competitive tournament. You saw what Memphis did in their last couple games. You swept them in the regular season. What was the confidence level like coming into this game?
Well, I mean, we know we're up against a good baseball team. If they have the American patch on their uniform, you know that it's going to be a really competitive baseball game. So we've got all the respect in the world for this team. I mean, they're gritty, tough. Of course, it comes down to the 9th inning, and we got to see those potentially see those 3 seniors in a row there. I was dreading. I didn't want to get to them, but John Russell did a heck of a job nailing it down, and we expected a battle. We got a battle.
And you have a rematch with the Houston Cougars coming up. You already played them earlier in this tournament, the rematch of last year's championship. What's your message going to be to the team, and what are you looking for in that one?
Well, you just got to continue to believe. You know, you're fighting like crazy to get to Sunday, and Saturday. I mean, we play on Saturdays in Clearwater. That's what UConn does, and they knew that coming in, and they came in with confidence, but they weren't overconfident. And we had a little luck go our way. We had a couple C&I base hits that fell, but the guys kept working. They kept believing in each other, and we beat a really good baseball team to continue on down here.
Playing on Saturdays, UConn, that's what they do. I love it. Congratulations, Coach. Good luck in the semis.
Now we got to get to Sunday.
Yeah,
thanks,
absolutely.
Kyle.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. The winning pitcher for this ball game, John Russell for the UConn Huskies. He's 3-2. Taylor Bobo takes the loss for Memphis. He's 0-2 on the season. Let's go back down to Kyle Coulter. Kyle?
I'm now joined by UConn freshman Anthony Prado, and it's not often a 2-for-5 day actually lowers your average in the tournament. You came in batting .700. You were able to keep the bat hot today. What's been working for you so well this tournament?
I think it's all just about my approach. I came in tournament struggling a lot, and I just got to try to simplify it and go to right center, get the off-speed hitter to right center, and it's been working.
You've had upperclassmen that have been in this situation before. This your first year going through it, going back to another semifinal. How have they helped you, and what's your mindset heading into this final weekend?
They've been huge for me. Willie, Aaron, Frenchie, Nesda, all the upperclassmen. Just believe it. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna make it. Believe it. And I mean, just go out there and win one tomorrow, and then win the other one. That's all you can do. You got to win the first one.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. Rest up, and we'll see you out here tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Once again, the UConn Huskies are moving on to Saturday. They face the Houston Cougars once again in a rematch of that 7-6 ball game from yesterday.
Heart of the order for the Huskies, 6 of 15. Prado, Jan, and Feldstein were able to get it done. Can they keep those hot bats going against the Houston Cougars? They're looking for their 6th tournament title game appearance in the last 10 years.
UCF and USF coming up next here from Clearwater for our producer, Scott Rilling, our director, Carl Harper, replay director, Dustin Gunch, engineer, Martin Wetterstrom, and our camera operators, Iggy Garcia, Bobby Sanchez, Manny Castillo, Grant Ryan, and alongside Garrett Wolvert, I'm Jeff Sharon saying thank you so much for watching. This has been the American Athletic Conference Baseball Championship on the American Digital Network. Stick around, UCF and USF coming up next. So long.